besties, I think we all know why we're here today. It is my eyeshadow palette collection and declutter video. This is one of my most anticipated videos, not only from you guys, but for me myself, because I truly love to go through my collection, tell you guys why I'm keeping the palettes that I'm keeping and why I'm decluttering the palettes I'm keeping, and to figure out how many palettes I actually own. So grab a snack, grab a drink, because it's about to be a long one. Alrighty, so here is my eyeshadow palette collection right here. As you guys can see, it is so full. Like, truly, this is jam-packed with eyeshadows on the side, stacked on top, in the drawers, and that's not even including my entire Glam Light collection. And all my Glam Light palettes don't even fit in here either. So I'm gonna set my camera up. We're gonna go through each and every single eyeshadow palette, and I'm gonna see what I wanna keep versus what I'm going to declutter. So let me go ahead and set the camera up and let's get started. Okay, so I have my camera set up, and I'm going to avoid that first drawer right here for the time being, because there's also makeup in there that has not been revealed yet from some brands that I got really early access to. So we're gonna kind of hit that up when I finish up this little quadrant right here. But I'm gonna start off with that bottom drawer and what I had on top. So up first we have Question Beauty. This is going to be the volume 2 palette right here. This was like their fall and spring palette, and I have to say I thoroughly enjoyed the brand. I tried them for the first time this year with their chapter 1 Land and Sea palette. I really fell in love with the brand, love the formula, and I absolutely had so much fun playing with this palette. I do have chapter 3 on the way, so as soon as that comes in, I would definitely showcase it to you guys. But yeah, I am definitely going to be keeping this for sure. Up next, I have my collab with Ofra. Now, I didn't actually curate the palette. All I did was pick out pre-existing shades and make it into like a pan project. I still really love this palette. I'm still very proud of this palette. I'm probably going to go ahead and put this one into a shadow box and move it out of my collection because I don't want it to get any more damaged. I don't want it to get ruined. This is something I'm going to cherish for a long time because, like, how often do I ever get to have a palette with like my name on it? Like, literally my name is on that. So for me, I'm just gonna go ahead and move this one out of my collection into a shadow box. Next, I have this Flower Nose Beauty palette right here. This is so pretty. This is such a pretty palette, but I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this, not because I don't enjoy the brand, but because realistically, I have so many palettes like this from this brand that just don't really get enough love. Their stuff is good, but they're really meant for a very light makeup application. And you guys know me, I love a very good colorful eye. And while I do enjoy my neutral moments, this is such light and pigment that, like, I don't know, I feel like it just needs to go to better homes. So I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this. Up next, I got this palette from Kaleidos. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, I haven't even played with this palette. I haven't even played with this palette. They sent this to me when they sent me like a massive PR box, and I've always wanted to, you know, play with this palette to try it out, but I never did. So I'm gonna put this into a we're going to keep this for now. We're going to keep this for now pile, because if I don't use it by next year, then I will have to declutter it, because I haven't even tried really any of their palettes besides like the Angelica Nyqvist one that she created with them a long time ago. And it's time that I really give this brand a try. So I'll hold on to this one for now, but if I don't use it by next year, we will be decluttering. Up next, I have the Lawless. This is the Dreamy Dozen Volume 2 palette. I bought this during the Sephora sale. I think it was last year. I think it was last year. I'm not entirely sure, but it's a really pretty neutral palette, but honestly, I don't really reach for it that often, and the other neutral palettes that I have, I'd rather hold on to than this one, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. Up next, I have my little 6-pan palette from Morphe. This was part of a huge like collection they came out with. This is in the palette shade name called Outer Spice. I think this palette is beautiful. I really enjoyed playing with this. Morphe's on their huge comeback era right now. I don't know what they did to really step up, but they truly have stepped up. So for me, I still really enjoy this palette, so I'm going to go ahead and keep. Up next, I have this Kaleidos palette, again, that I got last year, where they did like this massive PR box. I thought I was going to play with this one, but honestly, I did not. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. The reason why I kept the other one is because it's a color story that I really do resonate with. And I'm not saying that I don't resonate, with this one. It's just I definitely prefer that blue color story over this purple one. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. Now I have another one from Kaleidos that I have not played with, but I really don't have a lot of shades like this in my collection, like this color story in particular. So I'm going to hold on to this one for now because I do love a cool tone, smoky gray eyeshadow palette. Like I do have some palettes that are similar to this, but not like this exact color. So I'm going to hold on to this one for now. Up next, I do have Florasis. This is like Into the Wild or like Into the West eyeshadow palette. I really love this eyeshadow palette. I had so much fun playing with this. It's a beautiful color story. This one had great pigmentation. So I'm going to go ahead and still keep this one. I promise guys I will be decluttering, but you know, I worked really hard for these stuff, so it's a little bit harder for me to get rid of eyeshadow palettes more than anything else. Next, I have this little rose palette. This is going to be from Game Beauty. This was like part of their, I want to say it's like Attack on Titan collection. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure what collection this was part of. This is a really beautiful color story, but I really don't reach for it often other than that shade Chain, something that I do kind of love the most, but I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. Up next, I have Maria from that same collection, but again, I don't really play with this palette or these shades that often, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter. Formula is great, just a palette that I don't really resonate with or gravitate to often, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter. Next, I have the Sugar palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I actually got these off the TikTok shop for a really decent price. I really loved this color story and this formula. So much fun, so I'm definitely going to be keeping this. Okay, so up next, I do have the Spice palette from ABH as well. Again, like I said, I got that off the TikTok shop. A beautiful palette. This is perfect to travel with, especially when like those neutral moments. It does get super messy, but somehow I'm able to make it work. Really do love this color story, so I'm going to go ahead and keep. Up next, I do have the Makeup by Mario. This is going to be the Eternal Eyes Moonlight palette. I actually really enjoyed this palette. Surprisingly, y'all, I did not buy the one that just came out with the greens and stuff like that. I did not buy it yet. I don't know if I ever will, but I really did enjoy this cool tone eyeshadow palette right here, so I'm definitely going to be keeping this one. The first Makeup by Mario palette I ever actually bought, and I still enjoy this one. This is the Eternal Eyes. This one's actually a lot heavier than the one I just held. I think it might have made its packaging a little bit lighter. Still really beautiful palette. This is perfect for those soft, everyday, neutral moments, and I still really enjoy this one, so I'm definitely keeping. Okay, so up next, we do have the Master Mattes palette, and mine is actually signed by Makeup by Mario himself. I got to meet him whenever he came to my local Sephora. He just happened to be there the same day I was going in, and I was like, oh my god. So I got to meet him. I bought the palette because I've been wanting to get my hands on this palette anyway. I really do use the black a lot, but it's definitely signed by him, so of course I'm going to be holding on to this. I also have the Master Mattes, the neutrals. This is more of like a cool tone neutral palette. I was sold this because of TikTok. I don't really use it that often, but I have a hard time departing from it. I might end up parting from it. We shall see. This will go into like a maybe pile because all the colors are very similar. I don't know what to do. All right, we have another Flower Nose Beauty palette. Again, this is super, super pretty. This is one of their more colorful palettes, and I did enjoy playing with this, but again, their coverage is just so light, and while it's a really pretty palette, I know myself, I don't love it as much as I love some of the other ones, so I'm gonna go ahead and declutter. Okay, so up next, I have another Kaleidos palette that I ended up not using or trying out. It's a really pretty color story, but since I'm keeping two that I haven't tried, I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this one. It's just a color story that I don't really gravitate to a lot. It doesn't really excite me, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. Up next, I have a YSL Clutch. This is a really pretty palette. I actually do use these often to travel with, so I'm going to go ahead and keep this one. Again, these make for perfect travel palettes, so I'm still going to keep this one. And this one was one of my personal favorites from them. I still use this one often, so I'm still going to keep this one. Next, I have these multi-chrome singles from Art of Two Cosmetics. I freaking love this indie brand so much. Formula is incredible. Shades are incredible in this. Look at that shift of that top shade. Ugh, just so gorgeous. Definitely keeping. Up next, I have this Florasis palette right here. This is so beautiful. I think I only used this like one time. It is just absolutely stunning. I'm going to put this in a maybe pile because I don't know what I want to do with it yet. So I'm going to put this in a maybe pile. This one I'm definitely keeping because I absolutely love this color story so much. It is so pretty. Definitely keeping this one. This is one of my first palettes from them, and I showed this one so much love. I was like messing up the imprints, but I couldn't help it because this one's actually really pretty. Definitely going to be keeping this one. And lastly, for this drawer, I do have another little mini Makeup by Mario. This was only curated for the meet and greet, so I'm definitely going to be holding on to this one because you can't find this one anywhere. It's just curated for that meet and greet only, which I thought was actually pretty cool, so I'm going to keep. Up next, I do have Profusion. This is going to be the Web of Eyes eyeshadow palette. I just recently got this for Halloween. While I like some aspects of the palette, some of them I don't. But I'm going to hold on to this one for now because I literally just got this and I could definitely still use this one a bit. So I'm going to hold on to this. Up next, I have the DD Signature. This is the Drops of Fantasy palette. I really enjoyed playing with this brand. I really enjoy playing this palette, and this brand is absolutely incredible. So I'm definitely going to be holding on to this one. Nomad Cosmetics just recently reformulated some of their really old palettes, and this is going to be their Berlin Underground palette. I actually never owned the original, so this one's a first for me. I just haven't had time to play with it, so I'm definitely going to be keeping this one. Up next, I have the Tones of Turd palette from Glam Light. So you guys should already know I am absolutely keeping this one. One, for the color story, but two, you guys know that I have GI issues. That's why I'm going in for a colonoscopy coming up, and I feel like I resonate with this palette so much, so I'm definitely keeping this one. Up next, I have the Cobra palette. This is going to be from Clarity Cosmetics. I really love this color story. I really love the eye look that I created with this, and this was such a fun palette to play with, so I'm definitely keeping this one. Up next, I have the Clarity Cosmetics. This is going to be the I Love Coffee palette. This is a really pretty palette. This is the first palette that I actually played from this brand. But I am going to go ahead and declutter this just because I know I have other palettes very similar to this color story in my collection that I like a little bit more than this one. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. This is the Galactic Visitor palette from Singe Beauty. I'm definitely keeping this one. One, Angie is a friend of mine, but two, this is just a really beautiful color story. I absolutely loved playing with this one, and I'm so proud of her and her brand. So definitely keeping. Okay, so I pulled out what I could from there. And I pulled out my entire Odin's Eye drawer, followed by all the palettes right there. So let's go ahead and continue our declutter. So up first, I have the Danessa Myricks. This is going to be the Freedom palette. This is a beautiful 6-pan palette. I really enjoy playing with this one. It sold out for a reason. I was able to get my hands on it. And for me, this one's definitely worth it. So I'm going to be going ahead and keeping this one. I have this little 6-pan palette from Glam Light. This is going to be called the Elegant Eye palettes. I thought I was going to get a chance to play with these. They're really pretty shades, but I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one because just realistically I'd rather keep the bigger palettes from this brand than the smaller ones, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter this. Now this little green one from Glam Light Cosmetics, this is going to be the Exquisite Eyes. I'm going to hold on to this one because you guys know I love a good green color story, and this would be perfect to travel with if I want to have like a really beautiful green colorful eye moment, so I'm still going to hold on to this one. Up next, I have the Elevated Eyes from Glam Light, but again, I am going to go ahead and declutter this one. It's a really pretty color story, but I kind of want to keep the green over the blue. And I don't know. I don't connect with this one as much. It's really pretty, but I'm okay to let this one go. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. Up next, I have Enchanting Eyes. This is a really pretty like purpley pink eyeshadow palette, but I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one because I know myself, I won't really reach for this one as much compared to other palettes that have like a very similar color story. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one as well. Up next, we have another little YSL clutch moment. This is again a really pretty palette. The shades are not my favorite. So I'm going to keep this one for now, but if I don't end up using it soon, I will declutter it. Up next, I do have the DD Signature. This is the Chromebook Volume 1. They recently just sent this to me. I haven't had a true chance to play with it just yet, so I'm going to hold on to this one because these look absolutely beautiful and a great just like single topper moment if I want that. So I'm going to hold on to this one for now. I absolutely love the story from Gourman Girls. This is the Mocha Moment palette. This is so beautiful. I love the eye look that I created with this, so we're definitely going to be keeping this one. Up next, I got this Bougie Bitch palette from Clarity Cosmetics. It came like in like a mystery box or something. I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one just because I know realistically I won't really gravitate a lot to this color story, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter this. We have the Unoriginal Nudes palette from Bella Beauté Bar. I absolutely love this brand. I love this formula. Color story is not my favorite, but definitely still enjoy this palette, so I'm going to go ahead and keep. Up next, I got the Golden's Tide palette from DD Signature. Honestly, I haven't had a chance to play with this, but I'm going to go ahead and declutter this just because I like the color story, but I don't know. I just don't like, I don't know. It's just not my favorite. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. However, this color story from the Roots with DD Signature, oh my God, this is stunning. I freaking love the eye look that I created with this palette. We are definitely going to be keeping. Absolutely keeping the Paisley Hoop palette from Singe Beauty. This one is a personal favorite of mine. You would think it'd be the other ones, but this one, I don't know, there's something about it that's just so beautiful. I absolutely love everything about this palette. We are definitely keeping. Up next, I have the Coalescence palette. This is going to be the collab with Nupar and DD Signature. and Bella Beauté Bar. This is a really beautiful color story. Absolutely keeping this. Up next, I do have the Game Beauty. This is going to be the Prismatic Makeup Palette. This is supposed to be like a Street Fighter or Street Fighter collection. It's a pretty palette, but I am just going to go ahead and declutter this just because I know realistically I'm not going to really gravitate a lot to this one. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter. Up next, I have the American Psycho palette from Wicked Widow. Again, I still have never watched the movie. I don't really resonate with this palette or this color story. The formula was great, but just not something that I really get excited about. So I'm going to actually go ahead and declutter this one. Up next, I have the Nomad Cosmetics. This is going to be the Fairy Tale Europe palette. I'm definitely keeping this one. This reminds me so much of Disney, even though it's not. It reminds me so much of it. I'm definitely keeping. Okay, so up next, we have my entire like Odin's Eye cosmetics drawer. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm not going to declutter any of these palettes. I really do love this brand. A lot of these are collabs too. A lot of these are special editions. So I'm definitely going to be holding on to them. So the first one we have is going to be the Spring Dragon palette. This is going to be Judy's palette with Odin's Eye. This is so beautiful. To have a collab with Odin's must be amazing. Like, that is so cool. Like, I definitely am so proud of each and every single content creator that had the opportunity to work with this brand because they make such beautiful, beautiful palettes. This is just a single matte palette that I kind of curated myself when they came out with all their single shades. So this is kind of just what I curated right here. We have the Trick or Treat palette with Angie. Love this color story. Love, love, love. We have the little Ghost palette. This is another collab that Angie got to do for her Halloween collection, and this is just so pretty. Definitely keeping. I love when Odin's comes out with a beautiful like Christmas palette. This is the Snow Dream palette. Their Christmas collections get me so freaking excited. Definitely keeping. We have the Silvery Bliss palette. So pretty. Still one of my favorite color stories from them for their Christmas palette. This is gonna be the Christmas Eve palette. I still love this. This just makes me want to sing "Oh Holy Night." Oh my god, freaking love this. You still can't convince me this is a Christmas palette. This is the Rosy Jingle palette. I see spring. Enlighten me. Where are the Christmas colors? I don't see it. I don't see it. But obviously I'm still keeping this. Again, this is like a spring palette. This is the Hey Reindeer. I must be blind, or I don't know what I'm looking for, but I still don't see Christmas with this, but definitely still keeping. We have the Merry Christmas palette. Just look at how pretty this palette is. I still love this. I need to bring these back. We have the Hella palette. This is the first palette that Angie ever got to do with this brand. Mine came in a little broken, but it's still a really beautiful palette nonetheless. This is probably still my favorite color stories from Odin's Eye. This is the Stone and Rocks palette. This is so beautiful. I love this one. We have the Jewels and Gem palette. Again, this is absolutely beautiful. I love their formula. Definitely going to be keeping. We have the Mighty Monster palette. This is with Annette's Makeup Corner. Again, a very, very, very beautiful eyeshadow palette. We have the Earthy Wood palette from Odin's Eye. This is going to be in collaboration with Tina from the Fancy Face. Really beautiful palette. We have the Giant Wolves palette with Annette. Wolves are my absolute favorite animal. I freaking love this color story. We have the Hummingbird palette with Tina. Again, this is absolutely beautiful palette. And we have the Red Dragon palette from Judy. Another gorgeous palette. We have the Solomon Volume 2 palette. Oh my god, I loved this color story so much. Definitely keeping. I promise there is a declutter, but these are just the Odin's Eye drawer, which I just never declutter, but I love these palettes so much. This is the Solomon palette again, and maybe that was Volume 2, but I don't. Oh, this one's the original one. The other one was the Moon Wish palette. Well, you know what? Still. love, love, love these color stories. So I do promise I will be decluttering just my Odin's ones. I just don't declutter because I still really love these. We have my friend Betty Jean's palette with Odin's. This is going to be the Planet Spirit palette. Super, super, super pretty. We have the Lauren May Beauty. This is going to be the Sea Talk palette. Again, super, super, super pretty. And lastly, we have Amanda from Makeup Just for Fun. This is the Flora story. I love this color story. This one was one of my favorites. So damn pretty. Alrighty, moving on to that drawer right there. So let's see what we have working with. Okay, so up first, we do have the Unearthly Cosmetics. This is going to be the Not Normal palette. I do have the original one, like the Alien Cosmetics, before they did have to rebrand. And I have the 9-pan version of this versus the big pan. This one I'm definitely gonna be keeping because this is the more updated version. I probably will declutter the other one or put that one like in a safe keep just because it's like memories. But yeah, I'm definitely keeping this one. Up next, we do the Bella Beauté bar. This is going to be the Dark Dreamscape palette. This is still so beautiful. Definitely not a Halloween palette, but I still really love this color story, and I'm definitely gonna be keeping anything from this brand because I just love this brand so much. So definitely keeping. We have the Creatures of Forever palette. This is going to be from Rebel Rouge Labs. I definitely love keeping this, especially for the Halloween season. Any Halloween themed palette I'm most likely going to keep, but definitely most likely going to keep because I just love having my Halloween palettes, and more brands starting to cater to the holiday, which makes me so happy. Up next, we do have Artitude Cosmetics. This is the Metamorph palette. This is so gorgeous. This is one of my favorite indie brands. I love Artitude Cosmetics so much. Rooks, the owner, she is so incredible. The formula is incredible. I just really love this brand, and I know how much hard work she puts into it, so I'm definitely keeping. Okay, so up next, I do have the Escape Pod from Kaleidos. Again, they did send this over to me. I truly haven't had a chance to play with this. I know this came out a couple years ago. I'm going to go ahead and pass this along to another home just because realistically, I know I'm not going to really reach for this one. So I'm going to go ahead and actually declutter this one. I heard amazing things about this, but I'd rather it go to somebody who will get a better use than me. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter. I have to deal with long people in the back. I'm sorry. Okay, so up next I have the Gourman Girls. This is the Trapped palette. Again, I love Gourman Girls. The owner, Christina, is incredibly sweet. Formula is amazing. So we're definitely going to be keeping this. We have the Sigma. This is going to be the Little Mermaid palette. I love Disney. You guys know I work at Disney. So I'm definitely going to be keeping this one. I haven't bought from this brand in so long, but this is the Smoke Session palette from Melt Cosmetics. I'm still going to hold on to this one. I'm not ready to let all the stuff go that I have from them, but I haven't bought anything from them in a long time. I really do hope they update their formula. I think this is one of the first palettes I ever bought from Anastasia Beverly Hills. If I reviewed anything before buying this one, it's because my friend Kayla let me borrow her stuff, and because I couldn't afford to. I couldn't afford to buy any makeup at the time, and now I can for the most part, and I'm beyond grateful. So this, to me, I'll always have a special place in my heart for this palette. I'm definitely keeping. I could be wrong, but I don't think Anastasia has rolled out with a palette like this since. I think this was the last palettes they did. That's like their old classic style. This is the Cosmos. I do really enjoy this palette. It's really pretty. I'm definitely keeping. Now, if you guys go back and watch any of my previous eyeshadow palette declutters, I actually decluttered a lot of my Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes, and I only have 3 more left. This one's going to be the Amarizi. I'm still going to hold on to this one because this one's absolutely beautiful, but I did let go of a lot of my old Anastasia Beverly Hills palette that I never thought I'd be able to, and I did. So I'm very proud of myself, but I'm still going to hold on to these ones. Okay, maybe this is one of the last palettes like this. This is the Fall Romance. I forgot that I even have this. Did I even feature this in my fall ranking? I don't think I did. I don't think I did, but I am definitely going to be keeping. I do have the Jackie Aina palette. Jackie. I love this palette. I really do love this palette, and I think it's really pretty. I think she did a fantastic job. Did not get the amount of views that it should have, but I freaking love this. Definitely holding on to this. Okay, so all I did was pull out all the palettes from the side and the top. I haven't even touched these drawers yet, and I have a shit ton of palettes sitting on my desk. So let's get started again. Alrighty, so up first, we do have the Nomad Cosmetics. This is Pacific Northwest. First off, can we take a moment to appreciate the palette? This is a physical freaking painting. It is absolutely stunning. And then you open the color store on the inside. This is a beautiful, beautiful, like, palette. I don't know if this is Pacific Northwest related because I've never actually been there, so I can't really, like, relate the two together or correlate the color story together. But what I can say is this is absolutely beautiful. I freaking love the color story, so I'm definitely going to be keeping. Up next, I have the Lunar Beauty. This is the Day and Night palette. So it's a 2-sided palette. You're going to have the night side right here. And then if you flip it over, you're going to have the day side palette right here. They do come apart, so you guys can have them both separately if you wish to do so. This was probably one of my least favorite eyeshadow palettes that Lunar Beauty has ever created. I just don't really resonate with the color story. The formula just isn't like typical like Lunar Beauty formula. I don't know. There's nothing really special about this. So for the first time ever, y'all, I'm going to declutter this. When have you ever seen me declutter a Lunar Beauty palette? You haven't. I've never decluttered any Lunar Beauty palettes, and I'm going to go ahead and declutter both these because I know I'm never going to use them. So y'all, I'm doing it. I'm saying goodbye to some of my most cherished palettes. Like, y'all know I love Lunar Beauty. I love this brand so much, but I do want to downsize, so that means that this one, it has to go. Okay, so up next, I do have the Glam Light collaboration with Monolive. This is such a beautiful, beautiful palette. This is the Crown Legacy palette. I recently just got this in PR. I am definitely going to be keeping this. I have the DD Signature. This is going to be the Broken Jewels palette. This one actually came in a little broken, like that Molten Citrine and the Blue Fracture came in actually both broken, but I was able to press them back together. But this is such a gorgeous color story. I was obsessed with my my eye looks I created with this. This is probably one of my favorite DD Signature palettes they've ever launched. This one is absolutely beautiful. I'm definitely keeping this one. Up next, I have ColourPop Frosty the Snowman. I freaking love this color story. This is probably one of my favorite winter palettes that came out last year. This was so beautiful. There's something about this palette that just gets me so excited for snow and hot chocolate and hot tea and just being cozied up by fire reading a book. Ugh. I love it. I'm keeping. Up next, I have the Simply Posh Cosmetics. This is going to be the Gingerbread Bakery palette. I just got this in PR. I just played with it. I really love the soft eye look that I played with this palette. I really love the soft eye look that I did with this palette, so we are going to be definitely keeping this one. Up next, I do have the Alter Ego. This is going to be the Amber Glow palette. This is a beautiful everyday neutral palette. I think this is kind of a copy of the Natasha Denona Golden palette. This is really, really beautiful. I love this color story. I love playing with this one. I'm going to hold on to it for now, but I might end up decluttering it later on. Up next, I do have the Moonlight palette. This is going to be from a brand called the Pastoral Rose palette. This is a really pretty palette. I love the look that I created with this, but I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one just because I know realistically I'm not going to really gravitate to it as much as other palettes. Nothing wrong with it. It's really beautiful, but I'm going to go ahead and declutter this. Up next, I have the Ellis Volume 2 palette with Blend Bunny Cosmetics. These are like all the shimmers. This is absolutely gorgeous. I love this palette so much. Again, this is absolutely stunning. So stunning. Definitely keeping. I have the Ellis palette. I have the Ellis Volume 2 palette with Blend Bunny Cosmetics. This is the 2-in-1, so there were like, you could separate this palette completely and have like one cool tone, one neutral, but I got the big one right here. Again, really beautiful color story. Definitely going to be keeping this. I love Blend Bunny so much. Their formula is just incredible. I have the Chromebook Volume 2 from DD Signature. This time I added 3 mattes. Again, this is absolutely stunning. Great inspiration for me, especially if I want to play around with some shades, so we're definitely going to be keeping this. Next, I have the Love Language palette. This is a collab with Morgan Turner and Odin's Eye. This is so pretty. She came out with this back on Valentine's Day. This is a really beautiful, colorful Valentine's Day inspired palette. Very, very much Morgan, and she's so sweet. I am definitely gonna be keeping this. I got the Pro Artisty palette with Blend Bunny Cosmetics, but that one shade Catalyst came in completely broken. I don't know if this is supposed to be like eyeshadow or highlighters, but either way, I'm going to go ahead and declutter this just because I know myself, I'm not going to really reach for it that often. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one right here. Up next, I have the Gourmand Girls. This is the Nevermore palette. Look at how beautiful this palette is. This is absolutely stunning. Perfect for a Halloween. I am going to definitely be keeping this palette. Up next, I have the Timeless Tone palette. This is with Glam Cosmetics. Again, really beautiful, cool tone palette right here. Loved playing with the shades. Love the eye look. I am definitely gonna be keeping this. Up next, I have the Beauty Bay. This is gonna be the Book of Magic palette. Look at how gorgeous this palette is. This is perfect for Halloween. Perfect if you love cool, like perfect if you love witchy vibe palette. This is stunning. I am definitely keeping. Again, I promise guys, I will be decluttering. It's just that everything you guys see on the side are palettes that I generally do keep, and like what I pulled out of my collection to do like rankings and stuff like that. So, or like stuff I just got in PR. So I promise there will be declutters. Up next, I have the Nomad Cosmetics. This is the Route 66 palette. This is probably my favorite eye looks I've ever done with Nomad, was actually in this video. This one was so fun, so pretty. Definitely going to be keeping this eyeshadow palette. Up next, I have the Glam Cosmetics. This is the Nearly Natural palette. This is so beautiful. This is supposed to be a beautiful, like everyday neutral palette, and I can definitely see that with this one. Up next, like I said, Nomad Cosmetics sent me their revamped palettes with their new formula. This is going to be the Provence palette. I'm going to go ahead and keep this one, but I'll declutter my other one because I love their more updated formula. They really stepped it up and changed their formula this year, and I really, really enjoy this one. So I'm definitely going to be keeping this one. Up next, we do have the National Parks with Nomad. I loved this color story. I love the video that I did with this one. Definitely going to be keeping this. Okay, so up next, I do have my Endangered Cosmetics. This is going to be the Sea Talk palette, or the Sea Turtle palette. This brand just disappeared, and it's really sad because I feel like they were such a promising brand and they had such great ideas of donating, 10% of the proceeds of every single palette that I presented to an animal cause. You guys know I have such a soft spot for that in my heart, and it's just really sad to see this brand has just kind of disappeared, and I wish it would come back. But until then, I'm going to go ahead and put this into a shadow box because I don't want it to get destroyed, because I really did love this brand. So I'm going to go ahead and put this into a shadow box. Up next, I do have my Amy Loves palette. This is her collaboration with Adept Cosmetics. This is so beautiful. I was so proud of her for creating something like this. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this one. Up next, I also have Heather Austin's collab with Adept Cosmetics. This was also absolutely beautiful. Really excited for my friend. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this one as well. Up next, I do have Artitude Cosmetics. This is going to be the Arcana palette. Look at this gorgeous color story. I loved everything about this color story. The eye looks, the video, everything. I am definitely going to be keeping this. Up next, I do have the Fantasy Cosmetica. This is going to be the Cradled in Ice palette. I love this color story. I loved this palette so much. Anything from Fantasy Cosmetica, I'm honestly going to keep because their palettes just speak for themselves. They truly are phenomenal. Definitely keeping. Up next, I have the Terra Moon Cosmetics. This is the Ovaceus palette. I don't know, still such a weird name to pronounce, but I never played with Terra Moon Cosmetics palettes before. They don't really curate a lot of actual palettes and more like single shadows, but this was actually quite fun to play with. Really wonderful color story. Loved the palette, loved the formula. Definitely going to be keeping. Next, we do have this winter palette from Nomad Cosmetics. This is definitely one of my favorite palettes they have ever come out with, this color story. Again, this just is like perfect for the winter season. I absolutely was drooling over this palette. It is so damn good. I freaking love it. Up next, Urban Decay sent over their newest palettes. They sent me over the cool tone, and I actually just got the warm tone in PR as well. I'm going to go ahead and declutter this. I did not care for this at all. Like, I didn't care for the formula, don't care for the color story, don't care for the packaging. This was just not exciting for me, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter. Up next, I do the Sigma Spectrum palette. Honestly, I didn't even play with this palette. It's a beautiful neutral eyeshadow palette, but I just did not play with this one. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. Up next, I actually found this in my closet. A long time ago, ColourPop actually sent me the Harry Potter collection, but I ended up not doing anything with it, and I got rid of everything but the palette, and I recently just found this in my closet. So I am going to, I don't know, I'm gonna put this in a maybe pile because I really don't know what I want to do with this just yet. I still love Harry Potter. I don't care for JK, but I do still love Harry Potter as a whole because, I mean, it was my world at one point in life. It really did save me when I had no friends, and I completely separated the two, but I don't care for JK, but I don't know. We'll see what I want to do with this. Speaking of I don't know what to do, I have a whole drawer dedicated to Ensley Reign Cosmetics. I really fell in love with this brand last year, but they did some really kind of crappy things. And well, this brand is just a brand that I don't support anymore, but they did create really, really wonderful palettes. So I think for now I'll keep them, but maybe one day I will declutter them. So one of the first palettes I have is going to be the Cold Moon palette. I loved this palette. This color story is absolutely beautiful. Granted, this is an AI curated design on the palette. It's one of the reasons why they got into massive controversy. But I will say the color story themselves and the formula, it's incredible. And I spent good money on this brand too before they ever sent me anything. So I think for now, like I said, I'm going to keep them just because they still are really, really, really beautiful. And these were not cheap. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this one. Up next, I do have the Groovy Garden palette. Still really pretty eyeshadow palette. Like, look at those colors. We have the Flutter palette. What's going on with this shade? This shade looks like it's descended. It was. Okay, I guess I was going to slowly break out. This is going to be the Flutter palette. I think it's a really beautiful color story. Like I said, going to keep stuff for now because I did spend really good money on this brand. This one was really fun to play with. This one actually surprised me when I played with this one. We have the Underworld palette. This one was so pretty. I really enjoyed the color story and the eye looks that I created in this video for sure. Like, look at those shifts. So pretty. This is the This is the Light in Your Eyes palette. This one was so beautiful. I loved this palette a lot. A lot. I think I have like another one. I don't know where it is. Like the Harvest Moon. It's somewhere in my collection. I don't know where at, but you guys will probably see it pop up at some point. But I do have that palette as well. It's just not in here. But this one is really pretty. Out of these small 6-pan palettes, The What the Fox was my absolute favorite. This one was so fun to play with. Loved the formula, loved the color story in this one. Super, super, super cute. Up next, we have the Happy Go Lucky palette. This was really fun. This is supposed to be curated as like a Christmas palette. This for sure was a spring palette, but it was really cute, really fun to play with. Really enjoyed the Nutty by Nature palette as well. It has a little squirrel on the front. This was super cute. Loved the eye look that I created with this palette last year. Now, this next two palettes, I actually filmed a whole YouTube video on, but you guys actually never saw the video because I deleted it. But I did two different eye looks with their like winter collection they came out with last year. This is going to be the Snow Moon palette. But like I said, I did a whole video with this brand. I did a whole video with this collection. Did two different eye looks with these palettes, but I ended up deleting the entire video, wiped my hands of the brand, and haven't honestly looked back. But this was a really pretty palette when I did play with it. I won't take that away from them. They do have a good formula, but this is going to be the Snow Moon palette. And then lastly, I do have the Wolf Moon palette. This one was so pretty. I love that winter house shade. That one was really, really pretty to play with. Okay, so I think we're rolling into the last section of like truly keeping stuff. This is like from like all my indie brands. Indie brands I tend to hold on to a lot more than like the high-end brands. So after this next store that I show you, like my Nomad and my Fantasy Cosmetica, we're really going to start to narrow things down and start to get rid of stuff. So up first, I do have the Nomad Cosmetics. This is going to be the Mount Fuji palette. This was going to be their rendition of a fall palette that came out like 2 years ago. Again, this is a beautiful painting style palette. Really love this color. Really had fun with this palette. It's super pretty. Definitely keeping. Up next, we do have the Nomad Cosmetics. This is the Okavango Safari palette. I absolutely love this story. I absolutely love this color story. I love this palette, especially because like Animal Kingdom is one of my favorite Disney parks, and this just kind of reminds me so much of it. So I'm definitely be keeping. Next, we do have the Fire and Ice palette from Nomad Cosmetics. This is actually one of the first palettes I ever played with from this brand, and I fell in love with them. My friend Mikey's like, you got to check this out. Try out this brand. I did, and I never looked back. Definitely well worth it for me. Up next, I already showed you guys this palette, but this is the new version of the American Parks palette. This was their 10th anniversary celebration. Since I really liked my original one, I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. This one's brand new, has not been touched, and we're going to go ahead and declutter this one. Up next, I do have the Nomad Cosmetics. This is going to be the Polar Express palette. This one's so pretty. This was their winter palette that they came out with, or their Christmas palette they came out with. This one was really pretty. I definitely enjoyed this color story, and I enjoyed playing with this one. Definitely keeping. Up next, I do have the Nomad Cosmetics. This is going to be the New Zealand Stargazing palette. This was so fun and this was so fun. I absolutely love the color story of this palette. I loved my eye look with this palette. Definitely going to be keeping. Up next, we do have the Nomad Cosmetics. This is going to be the Chicago Speakeasy palette. This was so beautiful. I really enjoyed playing with this palette. Loved the color story and the shifts. Definitely going to be keeping. Up next, we do have that Nomad Cosmetics. This is going to be that French palette that I was telling you, the Provence palette that I was telling you guys about, that I already had this one. I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one since I kept the newer one for myself. Up next, we do have the Nomad Cosmetics. This is going to be the Whistler Snow Lodge palette. Look how pretty this one is. This one is so pretty. Definitely keeping. I actually did declutter a few Nomad palettes back in the day. Like, I think I decluttered the Japan one that I had and one other one. So I don't have their entire collection like I used to, but I still have a lot from them. Okay, so up next, I also have the Nomad Cosmetics. This is going to be the Beachy Peachy palette. This is based off of Key West, Florida, and obviously I'm from Florida, so of course we definitely have to keep this one. This one was super cute and fun to play with. Up next, I do have the Nomad Cosmetics. This is going to be the Paradise Island palette. This is based off of Fiji. I loved the eye look that I created with this. I love the video with this one. Definitely going to be keeping. Okay, so up next, I do have the Nomad Cosmetics. This is going to be the Royal Europe palette. This is the first time I ever did like shades that were multi-chrome like that. Look at how that shift is. So beautiful. Definitely keeping. Up next, we do have the Nomad Cosmetics. This is going to be the Cloud Forest Preserve palette. This one was so cute. Definitely enjoyed playing with this palette. I love the cause they represented with this one too. Up next, we do have the Nomad Cosmetics. This is going to be the Juliet's Balcony, like Love and Death. This was their rendition of like a Valentine's Day palette. Super, super, super cute. loved playing with this one right here. Up next, I do have the Nomad Cosmetics. This is the Ireland palette. Look at how gorgeous this palette is. Like, this one was so much fun to play with. I absolutely loved this color story. Up next, I do have the Fantasy Cosmetica. This is going to be the Druid palette. Now, mine is updated. I have the new updated version. My old one, the very first one that Fantasy Cosmetica ever came out with, that one actually is broken and started to shatter and crumble over time. So I did get a replacement palette. So I got rid of that one and I kept this one. So that's why it looks brand new. But oh my God, I fell in love with the brand because of this palette right here. So beautiful. Same thing with the Bard palette right here. Mine again started to crack and break. I was losing all of my shimmers. I don't know why that happened, but I did also have to replace that palette. If you guys saw my declutter last year, you guys would have saw those palettes got decluttered because of that. So definitely going to be keeping. Up next, we do the Fighter palette from Fantasy. I just love this brand so much. I love the color story. I love the concept, and I just love their formula. Definitely keeping. Up next, we do the Warlock palette from Fantasy Cosmetica. This one was so pretty. Up next, we have the Rogue palette from Fantasy Cosmetica. I really loved this color story. Loved, loved, loved this one so much. Up next, we do the Ranger palette, another one of my favorite fantasy palettes. This one was so freaking pretty. Definitely keeping. Actually, I'm keeping almost all of them. Up next, we do the Sorcerer palette. This one's still their old packaging. I won't be surprised if this one gets updated if it hasn't already. But again, a really beautiful color story. Up next, we do have the Wizard palette. This one was so pretty. This one, I think, started their new updated packaging. I think it was this palette right here. And lastly, for this drawer, we do have the Fantasy Cosmetica. This is going to be the Lost Library. I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one just because realistically, I'm not going to really gravitate to this little small pan single shot of moment. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter. Alrighty, going down to the next section. I'm just not moving the camera because it makes it easier for lighting. I'm going to go into the Sigma. This is going to be the Cool Neutrals palette. I did get this when I was in New Orleans for my first ever Creator and Friends event. That was actually so much fun. I really enjoyed that trip, and this is my first time ever playing with Sigma, but honestly, I don't really reach for this palette, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. Okay, so up first, I do have the Unearthly Cosmetics. This is going to be the Thinking of You palette. I think this is like their Valentine's Day inspired palette. It's super cute, but I'm going to go ahead and declutter this. Up next, I have this little mini 4-pan palette from Game Beauty. This is the Senna palette right here. Again, a really pretty palette, but I am going to go ahead and declutter this one as well, just because realistically, I'm not going to really use it. I really do enjoy Morphe's rebrand, but this one just wasn't it for me. This is going to be the Forbidden Honey palette. This was super cute, but honestly, I just didn't really care for this one compared to some of their other ones, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one as well. Up next, I do have the Pulp Fantasy palette from Morphe. Again, it was a cute idea, cute concept, but I just found this one to be lackluster compared to their newer ones, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter this. Up next, I do have the Morally Grey palette from Bella Beauté Bar. This was so pretty. I loved the eye look that I created with this one, so I'm going to go ahead and keep this. We have the little 6-pan palettes from Morphe. This one was really pretty, but I don't really gravitate to this one as much as I thought I would, so I'm actually going to go ahead and declutter this one. Up next, I do have the little 6-pan palette again from Morphe. This is their pastel version. I really thought I was going to get a use out of this, but honestly, I didn't, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one as well. Okay, so this one right here, this one I'm actually going to keep because I really do love the color story on this one. This one definitely I like just resonate with, so I'm going to go ahead and keep this one. Oh my gosh, I love this palette from Fantasy Cosmetica. This is going to be the Monk palette. This one is so damn beautiful. I absolutely love this one. Okay, so up next, I do have the Adriana Nicole I Am Everything palette. This is a really gorgeous palette, but honestly, I only really ever got it because I really wanted that shade Ethereal right there. And I kind of have something very similar to that in my other palettes. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter this. Up next, I do have the BH Cosmetics. This is going to be the Orange Sorbet palette. Normally I always keep this because of my fall ranking and I love using it during the fall, but honestly, I'm going to go ahead and declutter it. This brand doesn't even exist anymore. Like, they don't even exist anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter this. Up next, I do have the Green Goddess palette from Bella Beauté Bar. This is so freaking beautiful. I absolutely love this palette. I love this color story and I love this brand. So I'm definitely going to be keeping. Up next, I do have the Adept Cosmetics. I think I think this is the Minka palette. I remember this got reformulated and actually got mattes added into it compared to the original one. So I'm going to keep this one, but if I come across that one, I think I'll definitely declutter that one, but I'll keep this one. Up next, I do have Gourman Girls. This is going to be the Call of the Sirens palette. This is a mermaid themed palette. Oh my God, I love this palette so much. It's so beautiful. I'm definitely going to be keeping this. Up next, I do have the Too Faced. This is going to be the Apathy in Love palette. This is a beautiful fall palette. I still play this during the fall season, so we're going to hold on to it for now. Up next, I do have a Gargoyle palette from Unearthly. This is a beautiful eyeshadow palette. I paid for this one myself, by the way. They didn't really send me, actually, they didn't really send me a lot of PR. So I really enjoyed this color story. So I'm definitely going to be keeping this. Sorry, those are my neighbor's dogs if you hear any barking. But next we have the Ghost Town palette from Nomad Cosmetics. I love this color story. It's a beautiful cool tones color story. This was our plan, like a Halloween Ghost Town palette. I don't see Halloween vibes, but it is really beautiful. Definitely gonna be keeping. Up next, I had the Too Faced Pumpkin Spice Second Slice palette. You guys already know I'm gonna be keeping this. This is a beautiful fall palette. I still use it all the time for the fall season, so I'm definitely going to be keeping this. Up next, I had the Cleona. This is gonna be the Palo palette right here. This is a beautiful palette. I love the mattes. I love the duochromes and multichromes in here, so I'm definitely gonna be keeping. Up next, I have another Cleona. This is gonna be the Garland of Garden palette. Honestly, I haven't even used this. I got this during the Creator and Friends event when I went to Destin this year, and it's a really pretty palette, but honestly, I'm just probably not going to use this. I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. Up next, I also have the Cleona. This is the Light Scatter palette. I think this is in collab with Bad to the Brow, I think. Again, I got this during a Creator and Friends event when I went to Destin. This like in my little gifting suite. But again, I haven't used this one at all. It's really pretty, but I'm going to go ahead and let this one go as well. I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. The reason I'm decluttering those is because I do have my single multi-chromes right here, so I'll keep this one. I also have this one right here. This one's from Odin's Eye. This is, again, their single eyeshadows. I'm definitely still keeping this. Plus, it's in my, like, Laura Lee Magnetic, like, palette. Like, they don't even make this anymore, but I'm definitely going to be keeping. Up next, we do have the Ocean Jewel palette. This is going to be from Bella Beauté Bar. This is probably one of my favorite palettes they came out with this year. This is so beautiful. I love everything about this color story, the formula, eye look, everything. Up next, we do have the Odin's Eye. This would be the Eternal Twilight palette. This is so pretty. I really enjoy this palette, so I'm definitely gonna be keeping. Up next, I do have the OG Jaclyn Hill palette. This is still like, I don't know, this is such a nostalgia for me. I don't know if I'll be able to part from it right now. Like right now, I'm not going to declutter it. Maybe one day I will. But as of right now, I'm still going to hold on to it because it's such a classic, such a throwback to like my beginning days of finding YouTube and makeup content and all that type of stuff. So I have a really hard time letting this one go. So I'm going to hold on to this one for now. This is a beautiful palette between Stacey Marie and Be Perfect Cosmetics. This is Carnival, the Antidote palette. I love this palette. This is so beautiful. This has everything I'm looking for in terms of a fall color story. I'm definitely going to be holding on to this. Next, I do have the Kylie Cosmetics. This is going to be the Batman palette. It's super cute. I feel like they did really, really, really good with their theming and their packaging and just the concept as a whole. Formula was actually quite nice. My first time ever playing with their formula. Very similar to ColourPop's. I really did enjoy playing with this, but I'm going to go ahead and declutter this just because realistically I'm not going to really reach for this one anymore, so I'm gonna go ahead and declutter. Okay, so right here I have the Winter Alva palette. This is from Odin's. This is probably part of their 4-season eyeshadow palettes. I didn't realize how many palettes I actually have from them. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this one. This is Simply Posh Down to Earth. I recently just got this, so I only played with it like 2 times, so I'm gonna keep playing with it for now. But if I don't use it more by next year, I will be decluttering it. But as of right now, it's okay. It's not my favorite formula out there, like it's truly not, but it is pretty and I did enjoy playing with it, so we're gonna keep this one for now. Same thing with the Black Cherry palette from Simply Posh Cosmetics. Again, I just got this in PR like a couple weeks ago, so I'm still playing around with this. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this one for now. The brand new Odin's Eye. This is the Ice Crystal Palace. This is the Ice Crystal palette. This is so beautiful. Perfect for the winter season. I am definitely going to be keeping this one. It was my personal favorite from the season collection with Odin's. This is going to be the Autumn Ava palette. This one's so pretty. I really enjoyed this color story. Definitely going to be keeping. Up next, I did the Summer Elva palette right here. Again, really beautiful color story. Definitely going to be keeping this. Up next, I do have the Spring Alva palette right here. Again, another really beautiful spring palette from Odin's Eye. Definitely going to be keeping. Up next, I had the Submerge palette by Artitude Cosmetics. This one is so beautiful. I absolutely love this brand. Love this palette. I am definitely keeping. Up next, I do have the Nomad Cosmetics. This is their brand new like Christmas palette they just launched recently. I am definitely going to be keeping this. It's so cute. I also have the Bella Beauté bar. This is going to be the Come Play With Us eyeshadow palette. This is like a twist on like Halloween meets Christmas. It's based upon The Shining. It's really pretty. I had a lot of fun playing with this one, so I'm definitely keeping. Up next, I do have the Carnival Volume 3 palette, Love Tahiti with Stacey Marie, makeup artist. My mirror has been cracked for so long. Y'all, I'm going to declutter. I really do love this palette, but I am going to go ahead and declutter this one. It's really beautiful. I got a lot of use out of it. But honestly, I don't know. I just am not feeling it as much as I once did. I think because I have these color stories and other palettes, and I do want to condense down. I feel like I have barely decluttered like I said I was going to, and I feel like I'm just struggling to declutter because I have such attachment to these freaking palettes. So I love this one, but I am going to go ahead and finally let her go. Up next, I do the ColourPop. It's a mood eyeshadow palette. I still love this for the fall season. It's so beautiful. I really do enjoy this. I'm going to keep this one. Up next, I do have the Kaleidos Club Nebula collaboration with Angelica Nyqvist right here. This is a very beautiful palette. I am definitely going to be keeping this. I think anything has to do with like my friends' collabs, I'm going to keep for like memory's sake too. So definitely going to keep this one. Up next, I do have the Juicy Olive palette from Gimme Glow Cosmetics. This one is so pretty. I loved playing with this one, but honestly, I haven't reached for it in a very long time, so I'm actually going to go ahead and declutter this one. Up next, I do have the By Us. This is the Garden Busters palette. This is a sister brand to Odin's Eye. They came out with this palette last year, and then they just disappeared. I don't ever know what happened to them, why they only created one palette and just kind of slowly disappeared, but this was really pretty. I didn't like the way the palette was shaped. It's really thick and big for what it is. I'm just not a fan of the layout. Color story is nice, formula is nice, but I'm actually going to go ahead and declutter this one because I haven't picked it up since I got it, and I think that it can go to better home. Although that onion shade right there, it did come in shattered. I did the best I could, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. This is a palette technically of all single eyeshadows from Odin's Eye. I am keeping this one because I love having this color story. Plus, it's like inspiration for myself if I ever were to get a dream collab. It's something I could definitely kind of look at and like visualize what I'd want to have. So definitely going to be keeping. Up next, I do the e.l.f. collaboration with Chipotle. I've held on to this for so long, and you know what, guys? I think it's time I finally let it go. It just hasn't gotten any love for a very long time, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. Up next, I do have the Wild Wood palette from Alter Ego. This was a really pretty dupe to the Natasha Denona Yucca palette, but I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one, not because it's not good, but because I have the Yucca palette and I actually like that one a little bit more than this one, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. Up next, I do the Alter Ego. This is the Goddess palette. This was, I think, a dupe to like the oh my god, gold palette, I think what it was from Natasha Denona. I don't remember which one it was, but I know I don't have that one, so I'm gonna keep this one because I thought it was a really pretty color story from Natasha Denona, and I was never able to get my hands on that one, so I'm keeping this because this is the closest this is the closest version I can get to it, and this was a really good formula. Up next, I do have the What's Up Beauty. This is gonna be the Dragon's Eye palette. I loved this eyeshadow palette so much. This just reminds me of Fourth Ring for some reason. I don't know why, it just really does. I loved this color story. I love the packaging. I loved everything about this. I am definitely going to be keeping this one. Up next, I do the What's Up Beauty. This is the Geodes palette right here. Honestly, I really haven't had a chance to play with this. It's really beautiful. I really like the brand. They're super sweet, but honestly, I'd rather this one go to a better home since I haven't had time to play with it, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. Up next, I do have the Mirage palette from Alter Ego. This is again a dupe to the Huda Beauty Empowered palette. I really love the Huda Beauty one. It's so beautiful. This was definitely a lot of fun to play with, but honestly, since I have the Huda Beauty one, I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one right here. Up next, I do have my Game Beauty. This is my first ever palette from them. This was the Adventure palette. This one's still really pretty. This is one only time they did a press glitter, and they stopped using press glitter from there. They definitely have changed their formula since this palette has come out, but I still have such strong attachments to this, so I'm going to go ahead and hold on to this one. Still enjoy the Victory palette from Game Beauty. Again, this was a part of that gaming collab, that gaming collection they were rolling out with. I did declutter a few other ones that came in this line, but I kept 3 that I really enjoyed, and this was one of them, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep this one. And then lastly, from the Adventure collection, we have the, which one's this one? The Fantasy palette. Again, I have really strong attachments to this one. This one reminds me just of really good times and gaming and adventure, and I love the first few palettes they came out with, so I'm definitely keeping this one. Up next, I do have the BH Cosmetics. This is the Optimistic AF palette. This is a really pretty palette, really great formula, but again, this brand doesn't exist anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and actually declutter this palette. Nothing wrong with it. I have other colors like this one, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter this. Up next, I do have the Lethal Cosmetics. This is going to be the Avatar collection. All 4 Avatar palettes I'm keeping because I love Avatar The Last Airbender so freaking much, and they did such a good job with this collection. This is going to be the water one right here. So freaking beautiful. Loved this palette. Here is the Earth Bending palette. Again, look at how beautiful this is. They did such a good job with this collab. Like, oh, I was so obsessed with it. Here we have the Firebender ones right here. Again, such a beautiful color story. This one actually really surprised me with how beautiful this one turned out. They did a really good job with this one. And then lastly from this collection, we do have the Airbender one right here. This one was my least favorite out of all 4 just because I didn't really care for the color story too much, but the formula was still fantastic. I'm definitely keeping. Now, don't get me wrong, I do absolutely love Game Beauty, but since I'm keeping all 4 of the Avatar palettes and they have very similar color stories to these one, I'm going to go ahead and start to declutter this one right here. So this is going to be their Geode collection. This is the Elemental Blast 03 Geo palette. I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. This one was one of my favorites. Out of all 5 of the palettes, this one was my favorite, but I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. This is the 05 Electro palette from this brand. Again, really beautiful palette, but I'm going to go ahead and let this one go to a better home. I'm going to declutter this one. This is the 01 Pyro palette. Again, really beautiful color story, really great formula. This is where their formula definitely has stepped up and changed. Really beautiful, but I'm going to go ahead and declutter. Here's the 04 Deandro palette right here. Really pretty color story, but again, I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. And lastly, I do have the 02 Cairo palette. Really beautiful blue eyeshadow palette, but again, like I said, I'm keeping the Lethal Cosmetics one, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. Okay, so up next, I do have the ColourPop. This is going to be the new Moon palette. I love this one. They did this collection justice. They did a really good job with this collection, so I'm definitely keeping. Up next, I do have the Unearthly. This is going to be the High Temp palette. This is a beautiful palette. I really enjoyed the color story, the formula, everything. I'm definitely going to be keeping this one. Up next, I do have the Glisten Cosmetics collaboration with Lens. This is also in collaboration with Blend Bunny Cosmetics. These are going to be like wet. These are going to be paint. Essentially, you just get it, you dip a wet brush in here to create a really beautiful like eyeliner look or something like that with this. I don't really use palettes like this, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. Here is the other palette to that. This is going to be the Lens collaboration with Blend Bunny on this one. Not my favorite color story. Like, generally not my favorite color story. There's like only 2 shimmers in here, which are not bad, but I don't know, I just don't really gravitate to this one a lot, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one as well. Up next, I do the DD Signature. This is going to be the Fearless Holiday palette. This is a beautiful palette. They sent this to me, I don't know, like a couple months ago, actually. My first time I ever got anything from them was actually this palette right here. I still think it's really pretty. I never got a chance to review it last year, but you'll definitely see it this year, so I'm definitely keeping. Up next, I do have the All Done Up palette from Blend Bunny Cosmetics. This is more of like their neutral eyeshadow palette. I did have the Dollhouse one or whatever that one was called, and I actually decluttered that one because I was not a fan, but I'm gonna go ahead and keep this one because this one's really pretty. Up next, I do the Artitude Cosmetics. This is the Maneater Untamed palette. This is more of their older formula in here. I still enjoyed this one. This one was like what connected me to the brand to begin with, and I fell in love with them ever since. I'm definitely keeping. Here is the Ellis collaboration with Blend Bunny Cosmetics. This is a gorgeous palette. This is like the only rainbow palette you absolutely need. I really enjoyed this one. I'm definitely keeping. Up next, I do have the Carnival palette. Up next, I do the Carnival Interstellar palette from Stacey Marie. I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. I think because I'm keeping some of the other ones that are very similar to this, I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one as well. Up next, I do have Beauty Bay. This is the Earthly palette right here. This thing is massive. This thing is huge, but honestly, I haven't touched it in a very long time, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. Up next, I have the Urban Neutrals from Artitude Cosmetics. Definitely going to be keeping. You guys already know I love this brand. Up next, I have the vintage version of that. Loved this color story so much. This was so pretty. I'm definitely keeping. I think up next, I have all of my Blend Bunny Cosmetics palettes, and I'm not going to let any of them go because they do have such a special place in my heart. Plus, a lot of them have been discontinued, and I don't want to ever part from them. So right here, we have the Longing palette. This is one of my favorites from Blend Bunny. I freaking loved this color story so much. I'm definitely keeping. We have the Beauty Below palette right here. Very, very, very beautiful palette. Definitely keeping. Next, we have the Lure palette right here. This was so pretty. I loved this mermaid inspired palette. Definitely gonna be keeping this one. Up next, we have this Sugar and Grunge palette. Fun fact about this palette, I actually went on an interview, came home from that interview, and reviewed this palette right here. And I believe I even talked about that interview in my video at the time because I was interviewing at a golf course, and it was the weirdest interaction I've ever had. And I was told that I had to be okay with like sexual harassment and stuff like that. It was so freaking weird. And yeah, I correlate that palette with that time because I remember I reviewed it right around that time. So I'm keeping it, but that's just a memory I have with this palette. Up next, I have the Sickly Sweet palette. This was their version of Halloween, and while it didn't make a lot of sense to people, I viewed it as like candy just thrown into a candy bowl. I still had a lot of fun with this one. Super cute. Up next, we do have the, I think this is Macchiana palette right here. I think this was the last palette that Maggie and her dad were able to work on together. It was very touching for me. Really pretty color story. Definitely gonna be keeping this one. Up next, I do have Surge. This was discontinued because I think the bright neons in here, for some reason she wasn't able to use this one anymore, but damn, I love this palette so much. I'm definitely keeping. We had the little Trove palette from Blend Bunny. This one was so cute. I love the little multi-chromes that she put in here. Very, very, very beautiful formula. Definitely gonna be keeping. Up next, we do have Primal. This one was not my favorite from the brand, but I still had a lot of fun with this one. My shade Soil did come in broken, but you know what? It's completely okay. I was still able to make this work, so definitely keeping. And finally, for Blend Bunny Cosmetics, I do have the Blends palette right here. This is the first palette that I ever tried from this brand. I remember being one of the first people to actually get a review up at the time too, back in 2020. Fell in love with the brand, fell in love with everything about the palette, the color story, the formula. Definitely gonna be keeping this one and cherishing this one out of all of them cherishing this one the most out of all of them because this one just like was the connection that I had, and I don't know, I love it. You know what's so funny? It's like halfway through these videos that I realize, holy fuck, I have a fuck ton of palettes and it's becoming a little bit overwhelming. Like, why do I have so much? Oh, because I'm a hoarder and I don't know how to let shit go. That's why I have so much. I'm not where I want to be in terms of my declutter. Okay, I'm gonna be really realistic with you guys. I counted how much I decluttered so far, and I'm not very satisfied with the result. So I need to be a little bit more harsher on myself, which means that before I wrap up this video, because we're only halfway through, guys. So like I said, grab a snack, grab a drink. I'm going to kind of revisit the palettes that I said I was going to keep and take a really good hard look at them, and we'll see what I ultimately end up keeping and what I get rid of by the end of it. So now we're going to go on to my ColourPop drawer. A lot of these are specialty collabs, but I'm going to do what I can to get rid of stuff that I can. So I'm just going to grab whatever's in here and we're just going to go for it. So up first, I do have my Shrek collab with ColourPop. This one was actually really good. Like, ColourPop did a fantastic job with this one. Formula was great, color story is great, packaging is great. I feel like they've really stepped up since their first like Twilight collection. They've really stepped up their collabs. I do enjoy this one, so I'm going to keep this one. I also have some like random palettes in this drawer as well, but this is going to be the Alter Ego Sunlit Dreams palette. Oh, this is like another one of the Natasha Denona like Golden One palette. Anyway, I already have that palette. I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. This one's absolutely beautiful, by the way, but I'm going to go ahead and declutter that one since I'll keep the Natasha Denona one. We have another Fantasy Cosmetics palette. Another Fantasy Cosmetica palette. This is from Makeup Just for Fun collab with them. Super cute autumn theme palette. Gonna keep. I literally just got this in PR. This is the Artificial palette. Like this, I believe actually launches today while I'm filming this. So I'm definitely gonna be keeping this one. Next, I have the ColourPop Lost in Love palette. I got this in a ColourPop mystery box. It's a cute little Valentine's Day palette, but I'm going to go ahead and declutter this. I'm going to keep my Hocus Pocus volume 2 or my Hocus Pocus 2 palette. This is so pretty. I think they did such a good job. I love their Hocus Pocus collection, so I'm going to keep this one. Up next, I have the Witching Hour. This is a Hocus Pocus number 2 palette that had come out. Super cute, very pretty. So going to hold on to this one for now. We have the original Hocus Pocus Gather Around Sisters palette. This was such a classic. It sold out twice. They never brought it back, but I still appreciate it nonetheless, so I'm going to go ahead and keep this one. Who knows me, they know how much I absolutely love Star Wars. This is the Darth Vader palette. We definitely have to keep this one. Next, I have the Orange You Glad palette from ColourPop. This was so much fun. I did really enjoy this one. This is the OG. I don't even think they make this one anymore. If they do, I think it has a clear top. I'm not entirely sure, but you know what, guys? I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. Up next, we have the Big Poppy palette from ColourPop. Again, this was so pretty, and I did enjoy playing this one, but I haven't reached for it in a minute. I use it for like my fall stuff, but like I'm keeping other fall palettes, and like I said, I want to condense down a little bit more more. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one as well. Okay, so up next we have the Little Ray of Sunshine palette. I still really love this one from ColourPop. I actually hit pan. Like, look at that. I'm so proud of myself. Shows you how much I actually use this palette. I'm still going to hold on to this one. Up next, we do have the DD Signature. This is the Shattered Romance palette. This is a beautiful anti-Valentine's Day palette. You guys know that's my least favorite holiday. I still really enjoy this color story, so I'm going to go ahead and keep this. Up next, I do have the Honey palette from ColourPop. Again, this is another one of my OG palettes that I reviewed way back in like 2019. Still really pretty. I don't care for the pressed glitter, but honestly, I'm gonna let this one go. Now, if you guys know me, you guys know that I love Disney. I'm a Disney adult. I also work at Disney, so I do tend to hold on to the Disney stuff because I do love them. This is the Lilo and Stitch palette. Like, not my favorite color story, but I'm gonna hold on to it for now. Up next, I do have the Tangled collab. This was super freaking cute. I really enjoyed this color story. I'm going to keep this. Up next, I do have the Toy Story collab with ColourPop. Super cute. Still going to keep this one for now. Of course, we have to keep baby Grogu. Hello, he's so cute. I absolutely love this color story too. I love Star Wars, and I love the fact they used to collab with Star Wars all the time. I wish they'd bring them back, but I'm going to go ahead and keep this one. I have the C-3PO collab with ColourPop. Again, super cute, very pretty. Definitely going to be keeping this one for sure. Up next, I have the Mandalorian palette right here. Again, another pretty color story. Definitely going to be keeping this one as well. Up next, I have Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer palette. This was so cute. I still love the video that I did with this collection. I'm going to keep this. Up next, I do have the ColourPop collaboration with Raw Betty Christie. I used to be a huge fan of Raw Betty Christie, but I don't really watch her content anymore. Nothing against her when I say that. I just generally just don't really watch her content as much anymore. And I think she creates such a beautiful palette. I still have nothing but love for her because she's always been so kind to me, but I think it's time I finally let this palette go. So I'm going to declutter this one. Up next, I do the ColourPop Alice in Wonderland palette. Super cute. Definitely gonna hold on to this. Up next, I do have the ColourPop. This is the Good as Gold palette. This was my favorite like New Year's Eve palette, but honestly, I don't really go out and celebrate New Year's Eve anymore. I'm mostly home or at work, and I'm mostly just home during that time, and I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and let this one go. I'm going to declutter this one finally. Up next, I do have the Snow White Dreams Come True palette. They did a really good job with this one. Definitely keeping. Up next, I have the Disney Villain Misunderstood palette. This was cute. I'm going to hold on to this one for now, but I might declutter it in the future, honestly. Up next, we have the Milan palette with Disney, and super cute. They definitely have stepped up their game since doing collabs. This came out literally when 2020 first happened. I'm definitely going to hold on to this one for now, but they've definitely stepped up their game since this point. Up next, we do have the ColourPop. This is going to be the last Airbender collab. Honestly, even though I'm keeping the Lethal Cosmetics, this one's still super freaking cute. So I'm going to hold on to this one. Now, if anyone knows me, they know that I'm a huge avid reader, and this is going to be a Secret of Shadows. This will be a Shadow of Secrets. This is their version of like a romantasy style book. That's what it was marketed as, and I'm going to keep this one for now. Up next, I do have the ColourPop Star Wars. Of course, I'm keeping this. Look how iconic this was. I miss these days. Definitely keeping. Up next, we do have the Beauty and the Beast collab right here. Again, super freaking cute. Up next, I have the Winnie the Pooh collab. This was so freaking cute, and I love Winnie the Pooh so much, so I'm definitely keeping. I'm going to go ahead and pull this one out of keeping. I'm going to go ahead and put this one in a shadow box because realistically, I'm not going to ever use this again, but it is Disney. It's the villains, and I have a special spot for this. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in a shadow box. Same thing with the Midnight Masquerade. This was Disney's collab as well. This is Disney's designer collab, by the way. This is the Disney designer collab, and honestly, I'm not going to ever use this one again, but I'm going to go ahead and put this in a shadow box as well. Up next, I do have the Legends of Korra palette. Again, I love the Avatar series, so I'm going to go ahead and hold on to this one. Up next, we do have the Twilight collab with ColourPop. This is actually the reason why Glam Light came out with their collab, because I saw this and said this was shit. And so they decided to come out with their own. So I'm still going to hold on to this one for now. It's not my favorite, but I'm going to hold on to this one for now. Up next, I do have the Haunted Mansion ride. This is the Welcome Foolish Mortals Haunted Mansion palette. Again, it's Disney. It's iconic. Definitely going to be keeping this. Up next, we do have the ColourPop collab with Stranger Things. I absolutely love Stranger Things. I cannot wait to the 26th when finally season 5 starts. I absolutely obviously will be keeping this one because this was so iconic. I'm definitely keeping. Next, I do the ColourPop Aurora Struck palette. I still love this palette, especially for the winter season. This one's so beautiful. I get so inspired, so I'm still gonna hold on to this one. Up next, I do the ColourPop. This is going to be the Precious Metals palette. Really pretty palette, but I am going to go ahead and declutter this one just because realistically, I'm not going to get a use out of it. So I'm going to declutter this one. And then of course, I'm going to keep the Pokemon collab with ColourPop because you guys know how much I love Pokemon and I freaking loved this collab. It's so iconic. So we are definitely keeping this one. Okay, so up next I have Salem Cosmetics. This is Salem and the Witch palette. Honestly, the formula wasn't that great. I tried it. Not the biggest fan. I was holding on to it for the Halloween rankings, but I am honestly okay with letting this one go. So I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this. We have the Calavera palette from Gourmand Girls. Really fun, cute, festive palette. I'm gonna hold on to this one for now. We have the Unearthly Cosmetics. This is gonna be the Night Terror palette. This is actually really cute, really pretty formula. Love that shade Night Terror in the center. I'm gonna keep this one for now. Up next, I have the Just a Taste palette from Unearthly Cosmetics. This is like their vampire holiday palette. This was so fun to play with. I really enjoy the color story, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep this one for now. Up next, I do the Cosmic Beauty. This is gonna be the Sinister palette. I got this in a mystery box last year. I remember I thought that shade right there was empty, and I was like, oh my gosh, but it was a really fun, cute palette. Definitely keeping. Up next, I do have the Rebel Rouge Lab. This is gonna be the Howling for You palette. This is a favorite Halloween palette of mine. I'm definitely holding on to this one. Up next, I have Singe Beauty. This is the Agathe Temptation palette. I love this palette. Beautiful color story, beautiful formula. I am definitely keeping this. I have the Vamp palette from Bella Beauté Bar. Beautiful Halloween vampy inspired palette. Definitely keeping. Up next, I have the Witch's Familiar. This is the Betty Jean's collab with Fantasy Cosmetica. This is a cute, super cute Halloween witchy tarot cat vibe palette. I love this one. Definitely keeping. Up next, I have my Unearthly Cosmetics collaboration with Heather Austin. This is going to be the Surged palette. Definitely keeping this one. So proud of my friend for this. Up next, I have the Haunted palette from Gourmand Girls. This is so pretty. Really enjoyed this color story. Definitely going to be keeping this one. I have my Day of the Dead palette with Milk Cosmetics. This is the Vita palette right here. I'm definitely keeping, especially since my sister gave these ones to me. I still have a special place in my heart, so I'm keeping. And this is the second half right here. I'm going to go ahead and keep this one as well. Really pretty. I have the Nomad Cosmetics. This is the Hudson Valley palette. I love this palette, especially for the fall season. They did such a good job with this one. Definitely keeping. I have the Tiny Marvels palette. This is a collaboration between Sydney Grace and Mel Thompson. I'm going to go ahead and move this one into a shadow box so that it doesn't get destroyed. Because this one definitely, so it doesn't get destroyed. So I'm gonna go ahead and move this one there, but it was a really pretty palette. I have the Don't Be Jelly palette from Unearthly Cosmetics. It's a really pretty palette. I got this, I think, because of Creator and Friends. It's really pretty, but honestly, I have not used it. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually declutter this one. That way it goes to a better home and someone can get a better use out of it than I would. Up next, I have the Spooked palette from Gourmand Girls. Still love this palette so much. This is the first palette I actually tried from this brand. It's what made me fall in love with this brand. Definitely still keeping. I have the Melt Cosmetics. This is a 420 palette. Still a really beautiful color palette. Still a really beautiful palette. Not the biggest fan of the formula, but I still love this color story, especially for the fall season. I am, however, going to go ahead and declutter the Beetlejuice palette with Melt Cosmetics just because honestly, I don't really reach for it anymore. I was saving it just simply for the Halloween ranking, but you know, I think it's time to let this one go. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. This is the OG Gemini palette from Melt Cosmetics. I'm still going to hold on to this one. I have a special place in my heart for this. This is what brought me back to YouTube. So I'm definitely keeping. Nuvia Vita palette from Gourmand Girls. And I believe this is also in collab with Steph's Beauty Stash. I'm not entirely sure. It's a really pretty palette, but I'm going to go ahead and declutter this just because realistically, it's just not my favorite color story. Nothing against the creator or anything like that. She did a really beautiful job and I'm very proud of her. But I just know realistically, I don't really reach for a lot of these colors in particular, this color combination. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. I absolutely love this color story from Gourmand Girls. This is the Frozen Kiss. It is so beautiful. I love a good winter palette, so I'm definitely keeping this. Another favorite of mine from Gourmand Girls. This is the Silent Night palette. Again, it is so beautiful. Reminds me of Christmas Eve and I love it. So I'm keeping. I have the Nightshade palette with Gourmand Girls. And again, really beautiful definitely gonna be keeping this palette. I had a lot of fun with this one. I have the Unearthly Cosmetics Spring Magic palette. This was so cute. I really enjoyed this color story and playing around with this one, so I'm gonna definitely keep this one. This is the Minka palette from Odette Cosmetics. I told you guys I had the original. This was the original right here, but since I'm keeping the reformulated one and the revamped one, I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this one. This is the Bella Beauté Bar Poison Garden palette. This is the first palette I actually ever tried from this brand last year. I really fell in love with them because of this palette, so I'm definitely keeping. Up next, I have the Witching Hour palette. This is from Alien Cosmetics, aka Unearthly Cosmetics, but they did have to rebrand. I really wish that they would recreate this in their new updated formula, but I was only holding on to this because of Halloween, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. Up next, I do have the Murky Meadow palette from Unearthly. It's a really, really, really pretty color story, but I am going to go ahead and let this one go. I'm going to save it so when I do my ranking, all the palettes I tried this year, there's quite a few palettes actually decluttering that I actually got this year as well. You guys will still see those palettes featured in that ranking, but just know I am decluttering this one for my collection. Not that it's bad, it's just, I don't know. I'm gonna let this one go. I had the Divination palette with Robert Welsh and Blend Bunny Cosmetics. A beautiful, beautiful palette. I am definitely keeping this one. One of my favorite palettes from Fantasy Cosmetica. This is Harvest of Souls. They really need to bring this one back. It is so good. I absolutely love this palette. I'm definitely keeping. We have Cosmic Beauty Undergrowth palette. I think this was my second time or first time ever trying this brand with palette. I'm not entirely sure anymore, but I will say I love this color story so much. That's also why I got rid of the Unearthly, because I have something very similar with this one. So I'm going to keep this one. I have the Artitude Cosmetics. This is the Ink and Roses palette. Definitely keeping this one. Freaking love this brand. I have the Wicked Widow Graveyard Smash palette. Super cute, great for Halloween, but I'm going to go ahead and declutter this just because I'm literally only keeping it for that. But I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. I have the 'Tis the Season palette from Cosmic Beauty again. I got it like last January, I think, so I didn't get a chance to play with it on camera, but it is a really pretty palette. I'm definitely keeping. Just like I'm going to keep the Winter Wonderland palette from Cosmic Beauty, because again, it's a really beautiful color story, perfect for the winter season. I love a good winter palette. I don't know what it is, something about it just like so icy and cold, and I don't know, I just love it, so I'm definitely keeping. I have the Ensley Reign Harvest Moon palette. Super pretty. Super, super pretty palette. Another single shadow moment from Odin's eye. Definitely keeping. I have the Nomad Cosmetics Haunted Europe palette. You guys already know that I love this palette for sure, so I am definitely going to be keeping this one. Another one of the single shadows. I'm going to keep this one. So this is the Jaclyn Hill Armed... Well, this is the Jaclyn Hill Armed and Gorgeous palette. Yeah, so that shade fell out. I was only keeping this for fall ranking, but I was going to go ahead and declutter it, and I've been having issues with that shade anyway, and I pray it did not shatter all over my crown. Oh, it did not. Just came unglued, but I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. This is the Red Panda palette from Endangered Cosmetics. This is going to go into a shadow box. Like I said, I don't think the brand exists anymore. I really did love this brand. I love their cause, but I don't want to keep it in my collection, but I don't want to get rid of it, so it's going to go into a shadow box. Same thing with the Queen Bee palette. This is from Colourpop Cosmetics. They also are no longer a brand, and I really enjoyed this color story right here. I really enjoyed this palette. I'm going to keep it for now because I still play with it for fall. So I'll keep it for now before I put it into a shadow box. I have Question Beauty. This is the Land and Sea Chapter 1 palette. This is my #1 palette that I tried so far this year. I've ranked it in the summer season. I still love this palette so much. I'm definitely keeping. I'm going to go ahead and retire the Naked Honey palette. I'm going to put this into a shadow box. I've honestly just been saving it because I have such a connection to it and good memories with this one, but I don't really show it as much love anymore, and I don't want it to get damaged. I don't want to have it in my collection, but I don't want to get rid of it either, so this is going to go into a shadow box. Up next, I do have the Realm of Fairies. This is going to be Saucy Fairies collab with Bella Beauté Bar. Really beautiful palette. Perfect in time for the winter season. I don't know if that's what they meant for it, but it is really beautiful. Definitely keeping. I have the Cool Troves palette from Cosmic Beauty. I bought all my Cosmic Beauty palettes, so I'm going to keep them because I still love and cherish them. They're still brand new to me. I've only had them for like a year, I think, at this point, so I'm definitely going to hold on to this. Up next, I have the Bella Beauté Bar. This is the Smoky Glam palette. Really beautiful palette. Love this color story. Definitely gonna be keeping this. This is the Ensley Reign Land of Enchantment palette. I still think this is really beautiful, especially for the winter season. This is the first palette I actually tried from this brand, And I'm going to go ahead and still keep this one for now. Up next, I have the Gourman Girls Bitten palette. This was like their version of like an anti-Valentine's Day palette, which is really, really fun. Really pretty color story, definitely keeping. Up next, I do have the Plastics palettes from Blend Bunny Cosmetics. Honestly, I'm not really the biggest fan of this one. I don't know why. The color story just doesn't really like resonate with me. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. Okay, so this next drawer is a lot of my high-end ones of like the Huda Beauty and Natasha Denona and Pat McGrath Lab. So I probably won't be decluttering a lot of these ones, but then after that we do my P. Louise, followed by my Glam Light. My Glam Light, I'm probably not going to declutter anything, but my P. Louise stuff, I think I'm definitely okay to start letting things go. And then I'll pretty much, I think, wrap up this video. I still have all my Lunar Beauty palettes, Laura Lee Los Angeles, and my Jaclyn palettes from my everyday makeup drawer desk, but we're going to hit that up in a different video, so stay tuned to that. So let's continue. Up first, I have the Lovers palette from Cosmic Brushes. Very beautiful palette. I love their formula. They're just a really great, affordable UK-based brand, and I'm definitely going to be keeping this one. Hey, so fun fact, up next I have the Natasha Denona Roxa palette. This one caused me a little bit of trouble with Natasha Denona's brand. So I'm keeping this because I thought this was actually a really good palette, regardless of like how I felt at the time and how the brand treated me. I still gave this a fair and honest review. But fun fact, they actually sent me another one. Like they literally sent me another Roxa palette. So I have two. So I'm actually going to put this one into a giveaway for the holidays. So I'm not decluttering it because it's going to go into a giveaway for the holidays. Up next, I have my Tarte. This is the Man Eater palette. This was a really pretty palette. I had a lot of fun playing with this. I said it's perfect for the holiday season, and I still stand by that. But y'all, I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. Up next, I have the Natasha Denona Bloom palette. I'm going to be very for real with you guys. I'm probably not decluttering any of these just because I love this brand. They have great formula, and well, shit, they are not cheap. So I'm definitely holding on to this. Up next, I have the Natasha Denona Trial Chrome palette. Super, super pretty. Definitely keeping. Up next, I have the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette. Super pretty. Definitely keeping this. Up next, I have the Natasha Denona Glam palette. These are like their holiday palettes that came out with, I think, like 2, maybe 3 years ago. Freaking love these. I bought the light and the dark because these were so good. So I'm definitely keeping. Up next, I do have the Natasha Denona Retro Glam palette. Not my favorite palette from them, but still keeping. Up next, I have the Natasha Denona My Dream palette. Not one of my favorite ones, but I still thought this one was actually really pretty. I really enjoyed the eye look I created with this one. Up next, I do have the Natasha Denona Glam palette. Super, super pretty. I guess I don't have to say that I'm keeping these because like you guys should already know, because like this is a collection and declutter video. This isn't only a declutter video, so I guess I can just show off my collection too and declutter at the same time. Okay, so up next, I have the Zoom, Zoom, Zoom. Make my heart go boom, boom. My Supernova girl. Okay, this is the Xenon palette. Zetus Lapidus. 50 Shades of Grey. But you know what? She's still cute. This is the Retro palette. Fun fact, I actually bought this one when I went to LA for a Glam Light event, and it definitely came in handy. I was so happy to be able to purchase this for myself and take it with me. I was so excited. I should really do a Natasha Denona ranking video. I think I will do that at some point because that'd be really fun. Maybe I could rank them against Huda Beauty. Ooh, okay. So here we have the Zendo palette. Beautiful, colorful story from Natasha Denona. Especially because she's not really known for creating really colorful palettes like this. So this was really cute. Up next, I have the Glam Face Light palette. Oh my God, I love this one so, so much. Definitely keeping. Up next, we have the Yucca palette, aka the Yucky palette, because this one smelled so bad, but it finally lost all stench. So this one is still really pretty color story. I still ranked it really high. I love the color story of this one, but yeah, mine stunk for some reason when I first got it, but the smell has completely disappeared since then. Up next, I have the I Need a Warm palette. Super cute. See, I think I saved one of the alter ego versions of this. If I did, I'll go ahead and declutter that one. I'll keep this one. Up next, we have the I Need a Nude palette. This one was one of my favorites. I freaking love this color story. I just love a good cool tone neutral moment. Up next, I do the pastel palette from Natasha Denona. Very pretty. Little chaotic, but pretty. Finally got my hands on the bronze palette from Natasha Denona, and I always wanted this one, so I'm definitely keeping this because it's still a really pretty color story. Super pretty. I think lastly for Natasha Denona, I have the golden palette right here. Really beautiful revamped palette. Up next, I do have Miss Huda Beauty, and she no longer makes these palettes anymore. They have been discontinued, but we have the Rose Quartz palette. I freaking loved this palette so much. Like, it was so pretty. I use this all the time. It really sucks that she no longer makes palettes like this because this was a really great formula. A lot of people didn't like this palette from Huda Beauty. This is going to be the Mercury Retrograde palette. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. I loved playing with this. It was a very soft, colorful eyeshadow palette. It was really, really enjoyable. So definitely keeping. I have the Huda Beauty. This is going to be the Rose Gold palette remastered. So pretty. Next, I had the Pretty Grunge palette from Huda Beauty. Not one of my favorites from them, but it is super cute. So definitely keeping. My first luxury palette that I ever bought from Huda Beauty was the Desert Dust palette. This is the first time I was ever able to afford paying for a high-end palette. This is when I was still a server at Disney, just getting into YouTube. I will always share this one, so definitely keeping. I have the Naughty palette from Huda Beauty. I really enjoyed this, even though this one was like the COVID shade that everybody said. This is still super cute. Not the most like wowing holiday palette, but I still enjoyed it nonetheless, so definitely keeping. This is the Empowered palette. It's so pretty. That's why we got rid of the Alter Ego one, because I already knew I had this one. I love this one so much. And finally, one of the last palettes that Huda Beauty ever launched was last year, and it's the Icy Nude palette. Palette was the last time that they're going to create a big pan palette like that, which is really sad. I really had higher hopes for this one. This one was kind of disappointing, but I'm still really glad that I have it. Sad that they discontinued this type of line though, but yeah, I'm keeping. Up next, I have a little mini Natasha Denona Rosewood palette. It's cute, but I am going to go ahead and declutter this. I really won't get a use out of this one. I also have the little mini bronze palette from Natasha Denona. I got this at the Sephora event, but I am not going to use this since I have the full size, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one as well. I have the Urban Decay Original Naked palette. I bought this last year, and I never had the original one. It was cute. It was fun. I'm going to keep it. Here we have Pat McGrath Labs. This was a mothership, like a little mini version. My sister got me this for Christmas before she moved to England. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and let this one go. I will always cherish this one a lot, but I'm going to go ahead and let this one go because she got me the Milk Cosmetics one. And honestly, I don't need to have a palette to remind me of my sister. I talk to her all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm finally going to let this one go. Next, I have the Pat McGrath Bridgerton palette right here. Super cute. Really enjoyed playing with this one, but I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. I'm going to go ahead and declutter. Up next, I have the other Bridgerton collaboration Pat McGrath. Really pretty. Love this one. But again, I'm going to go ahead and actually declutter this one. Not because I feel any type of way, just because I know realistically, I'm just not going to really use it. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter. I am going to keep this one from Pat McGrath, though. This is the like Mothership Moonlight Seduction one. Still super pretty. Great formula. Going to hold on to this one. And I'm going to hold on to the Pat McGrath. This is the Mothership one. Again, super, super pretty. I'm going to go ahead and hold on to this one. Alrighty, so we are on our last drawer before we move on to my Glam Light, and then I guess what's in these drawers right here, so I can show you guys before they also get decluttered in an upcoming video. So up first, I have the Nomad Cosmetics. This is going to be the Witch City Salem palette. Y'all, this is an amazing palette. This is my #1 hauling palette this year. We are definitely keeping this palette. I have the Rotten palette from Blend Bunny Cosmetics and Me Paying. Definitely keeping. So fun. So fun. Effervescence palette from Me Ping and Blend Bunny. Definitely keeping this one as well. I have the Danessa Myricks. This is the Lightwork Volume 4 palette. Definitely keeping this one. I still wish I got Volume 6. I never got my hands on it. It's been sold out ever since, but it's all good. It's all good, but I still have this one, so I'm definitely keeping. Here we have the Bonfire palette from Glaminatrix Cosmetics. I freaking love this palette. It is so damn beautiful. I am definitely keeping this one. I have the Danessa Myricks Lightwork Volume 5 palette. I got this in like a Beauty Lush box. Definitely keeping. Up next, I do the P. Louise. This is the Hocus Pocus palette. I have the first side, and then we have the back side right here. I absolutely love these palettes for the holidays, so we are definitely going to be keeping this one right here. Here's the Droplet of Magic palette. Again, beautiful, stunning palette from P. Louise. We are definitely going to be keeping this one. Up next are the P. Louise. This is the Stack Them Up palette. This was so pretty, so fun. But you know what, guys? I'm going to go ahead and let this one go just because realistically, I don't really gravitate. I don't really use these ones as much anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter this. I'm still going to keep this one right here. This is the, I think this is the Take the Chance or Lose 'Em Backish up. I don't know which one this one. I don't know what the palette name is actually. It was Stack 'em Up, but I still actually use this one all the time for the fall season, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep this one. Here we have the What's Your Favorite Position. I think this is the CEO palette. Really beautiful palette, but I'm gonna go ahead and pass this along to a better home who get more use out of it than I will. So I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this. I have the Say More, Do Less, again from the same line of the Stack 'em Up. Super pretty blue palette, but I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this and give it to a better home. Here is the last one of the Stack 'em Up. This is the Babe. It's all about those money something. I don't know what it says, honestly. Really pretty pink palette, but again, I'm going to go ahead and declutter this and give it... But again, I'm going to go ahead and declutter this and give it to a better home. Here's my collab with Over Cosmetics. I'm going to keep this, but I'm going to go ahead and put this into a shadow box so I can save it for however long I want to save it. I'm very proud of this one. I still love it, but I'm gonna go ahead and move this into a shadow box. Up next, I have the Ultra Ego. This is going to be the Sun Down palette. Really pretty palette, but I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this just because realistically, I won't really gravitate to this one as much as I would other ones. So I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this one. Up next, I have the Peach Perfect palette from Gourman Girls. Really pretty palette, but definitely not my favorite formula. They've definitely stepped up their formula since then. So I'm going to go ahead and actually declutter this one. Okay, so up next, I do have the Patrick Ta. This is going to be the Major Dimension palette, but I don't know if you guys can tell. It may be hard to see with my lights because I'm having a hard time seeing it on like my viewfinder. But in this shade right here, there are some white bumps appearing. It's very light, but there are some white bumps that are appearing on this shade in particular. I know this palette has had some issues with mold. I don't know if you guys can see right there. Can you guys see some of the white bumps? There you go. You can see some of them. I know other people have found mold in their Patrick Ta palettes. Honestly, I don't really reach for this one anymore. So I'm just going to go ahead and declutter this. I'm not saying it's mold, but those white bumps were not present previously. So I'm going to go ahead and just be safe and declutter this. Okay, so up next, I have the Major Dimension Volume 2. But again, I don't really use this one ever. There's nothing weird with this one, so this one's still pretty good, but I'm gonna go ahead and declutter just because realistically I don't ever reach for this one. I have other nude palettes I prefer over this one, so I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this one as well. This is my Urban Decay Game of Thrones palette. I'm just going to go ahead and put this into a shadow box. I will never use it again, but I'll put it into a shadow box because it's Game of Thrones, and this was such a coveted collab way back in the day. So I'm going to go ahead and move this into a shadow box. Here I have the P. Louise All I See Are Signs. This is one of my favorite palettes from the brand. I am definitely keeping this. I wish mine was one that pulled out so you could see a two stack one, but I don't have that one. But this one is so beautiful. I'm definitely keeping. Up next, I have the Money Signs palette from P. Louise. I do love this really beautiful green tone palette. I'm going to keep. Next, I do have the Glaminatrix. This is the Barely Basic palette. First palette I actually tried from this brand. I think it's really pretty. I enjoy this one, so I'm going to go ahead and keep. I have the Otter 2 Cosmetics Obsession palette right here, and I am definitely going to keep this palette. Really pretty. Next, I have the Neutrals palette. From Cosmic Brushes. Again, I am going to be keeping this very beautiful formula. Love the color story. Up next, I do have the Jaclyn Cosmetics Volume 2. Obviously, I'm still going to hold on to this one for now. There's still a lot of sentimental values with this one, and it's still such a classic, so I'm going to hold on to it for now. Up next, I do the Smolder palette from Cosmic Beauty. Such a beautiful palette. Loved playing with this one. Definitely keeping. Up next, I do have the Moonstone palette from Morphe. Really beautiful palette. I love a good cool tone moment. Really nice formula. I'm going to go ahead and keep. Just like I'm going to keep the Flickering Sands from them as well too. This is a very beautiful everyday neutral eyeshadow palette. So I'm going to quickly organize my entire drawers. I'm going to see what I have kept versus what I've decluttered so far before I show you guys my Glam Light collection, because just know I'm not decluttering any of those. And then like I said, I have a few palettes from my everyday drawer that I want to show you guys as well before we finally wrap up this video. If I don't feel like at least my goal is to declutter over 100 palettes. I feel like I'm kind of there, if not over, but we shall see. I want to declutter more, but let me quickly reorganize and I'll be right on back. Intermission, go grab a snack, go grab a drink. Okay, so my drawers over here are completely organized. I cannot wait to show it to you guys. But first, we're going to dive into my Glam Light collection. Now, this collection is really intensive because I love Glam Light. They have been one of my favorite brands since like 2018, 2019. So I pretty much own every single palette. I will not be decluttering any of these palettes. I have such a special place in my heart for these palettes. I am going to be doing an updated ranking because you guys love to see that. I love to do that every single year. I probably have over 50 Glam Light palettes sitting in front of me. And then we'll move on to my drawer like my drawer that's sitting on my desk, and then we will wrap up this video, y'all. This is taking me 2 days to film this. It's insane. I have too much freaking makeup. Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna stop bitching at myself because I do it to myself. So we're gonna start off with my Glam Light. So up first, I do have the Barbie palette right here from Glam Light. Love this. Fun fact, they sent this to me right when I think it was like Hurricane Matthew was about to hit. So it felt really weird filming this collection, knowing there's a hurricane barreling towards us right in the heart of October. But you know what? It was still really fun to play with. Also, when you guys watch the ranking video, I save every single packaging as well. So anywho, we're gonna go next. We have the Viva Taco palette from Glam Light. I'm gonna be for real with you guys. They're older palettes I'm just not a fan of anymore. I'm still gonna hold on to them, but their older palettes just have a really old formula that I don't know. It's just, they've evolved so much from where they came from, but I still have such a love and appreciation for these palettes, for the memories, because all the old palettes I bought myself. I didn't really start getting PR, well, PR is still really finicky when it comes to Glam Light. I don't know what I'm going to get, what I'm not going to get. So I tend to just buy stuff myself anyway. But yeah, so this is something I pay for myself. But I will always have a special place in my heart for the taco palette. I know that the burger palette from Glam Light put them on the map. This is the one palette that, like, you got Nikki Tutorials, you had Jeffree Star, all talking about this palette. It was so unique, so different, and I really hope that one day Glam Light goes back to this style palette where they did like food theme. I know everybody got so burnt out by it, but now everybody's burnt out by all the collabs they consistently do. So hopefully one day they start to bring this back, because I do love this era of Glam Light. Such a classic palette. This is going to be the ice cream palette from Glam Light. Oh my god, I loved this palette so much. It's still so good. Up next, I have the pizza palette from Glam Light. Honestly, this is probably my least favorite Glam Light palette. The colors are so lackluster. The formula is just so mid compared to what it is now. But I still have such a huge appreciation. I think this is one of their first food themed palettes. Was actually the pizza palette. Up next, I have the paint palette from Glam Light. This is when their formula started to change and get a bit better to like what we know today. I remember being Bob Ross when I played with this palette, and I redid a look using this palette too, because I hated the first one and redid it. I bet you I could do it better now than I did then, because that was like back in like 2020, but still have a love appreciation for this. Next, I do have the Veggie Lover pizza. This actually came in a mystery box. I got the Veggie Lover and the Meat Lover. Both were exclusive to the mystery box, and I have such fond memories of this one right here. So this one was exciting to keep. Up next, I do have the Willy Wonka palette right here. Mine actually came with the golden ticket. I think everybody's came with the golden ticket, but this was such a really cute, fun collab they did last year. It's kind of like chocolate theme. I really enjoyed this one. And up next, I have the Frosted Flakes collab with Glam Light. Look at how cute this color story is. Oh, I loved this one. Up next, I do have the Michaela collab with Glam Light. I wish Glam Light would collab with me, but that is a wishful dream, because I am too small of a content creator for them to even look at my way. But you know what? A girl can dream. Pretty palette. Up next, I do have the Michaela Part 2 palette. This one's actually really pretty. She did a good job with this one. Up next, I do have the Scooby-Doo palette from Glam Light. Super cute. I wish they'd bring this one back. This is the Rick and Morty palette. This one sold out so many times. Everybody loved this one so much. I truly wish they would bring this one back. This one was iconic. Next, I do have the Cake palette. So pretty. Love this one. Up next, I do have the Paint Pro palette. This one was so cute. I love this one. Up next, I do have the Glam Light Holiday Sweet palette. This actually came in a mystery box last year. Not my favorite color story, but it is really, really cute. I still have the packaging for it too. It's really cute. Definitely not my favorite though, but it is cute. Up next, I do have the Chucky Good Guys palette. This was so much fun to play with. Up next, I do have the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air palette. What a throwback. Up next, I do have this Scooby-Doo Ruh-Roh palette. I freaking love this one so damn much. It's so pretty. Up next, I do have the Glam Light. This is going to be the Street Taco palette. Mine's getting a little ruined. I don't know why, but I still cherish it. Up next, I do have the Glam Light Icy Cherry palette. So cute. Up next, I have the Glam Light Blue Raspberry palette. Really pretty palette. Up next, I have one of my oldest Glam Light palettes. It's going to be the Alejandra Jesse palette right here. Like I said, I think I'm missing 2 that she created before this one, but 2 or 3, I think. But I will show those in my honorable mentions for the Glam Light ranking like I did last year. But yeah, this is one of my first ones from Glam Light. Up next, I do have the Glam Light. This is the Betty Boop palette. Super cute. Up next, I do the Glam Light Red Velvet Cupcake palette. I definitely expect a little bit more from this one because it's like red velvet, but it was still fun to play with. Up next, I do have the Glam Light. This would be the Burger Slider palette. Look at how cute she is. But again, it's getting a little destroyed or aged just because it is a really old palette. Up next, I have the Glam Light. This is the chocolate donut. This is one of their last times I did like a food theme palette, and it came in a mystery box. I miss those days. Up next, I do have the Glam Light Pie palette. See, this is why I do my ranking, because I said I have so many Glam Light palettes. It's insane. Up next, I do have the Glam Light. This is going to be the Glam Donut palette. Super pretty. This would be the Cherry Coke palette. Up next, I have the Classic Coke palette from Glam Light. Up next, I have the Trick or Treat palette. Oh, this one's so pretty. One of my favorites. Up next, I have Glam Light Friday the 13th Camp Crystal Lake palette. Up next, I have the Glam Light Halloween 2 palette. I love this one. Up next, I have the Glam Light. This is the Scooby-Doo Creeps and Crawls palette. This one's so beautiful. Up next, I do have the Glam Light. This is going to be the Margarita palette. Love this color story. This was such an underrated collection, but this is the Glam Light collaboration with Garfield. This was so underrated. This is such a gorgeous palette. I love this one. Up next, I do have the Glam Light. This is going to be the Berrylicious Strawberry Shortcake palette. Super pretty. Up next, I have the Michaela Part 2 10 Pan palette. This is a pretty color story. Next, I have the Glam Light Ghost Face palette. This one's so pretty, and this is where they really started to elevate their packaging and their formula. I will always have a special place in my heart for the Glam Light Kisses collection because I got to go to LA for the event and meet the team and meet Giselle, and it's just something I'll always like hold a special place in my heart for, but this is going to be the Special Dark palette. Up next, I have the Glam Light. This is going to be the Nightmare on Elm Street palette. Up next, I have the Glam Light Freddy Krueger palette. Up next, I have Glam Light's Ghostface Returns palette. Up next, I have the Glam Light Chucky in Love palette. And this is a palette that kicked off their horror collection as a whole. Love it. I have the Cookies and Cream palette right here from the Kisses collection. I have the Milk Chocolate with Almonds. It's one of my favorite chocolates. That and Cookies and Cream, but I think I go back and forth between the two. But I have the Milk Chocolate with Almonds palette. Up next, I do have the Milk Chocolate palette from the Kisses collab. Up next, I have the Hershey's Cookies and Cream palette. This one's so pretty. Up next, I have the Hershey's Milk Chocolate Bar palette. Up next, I have the Lava Cake palette from the Kisses collection. Up next, I have the Chocolate Martini palette. I love this one. Up next, I have the Glam Light and the Rock and Roll Kiss collab right here. I was really underwhelmed by this palette. Up next, I have the Glam Light and the Douse Mendoza palette right here. Another favorite another favorite of mine is going to be the Dirty Martini palette. This one's just so beautiful. Up next, I do have the Red Wine palette right here from Glam Light. Another beautiful purple palette. Up next, I do have the Meat Lovers palette. Again, this one came from one of their mystery boxes way back in the day. Up next, I do have the Lord of the Rings palette right here. That's so cool they got to do this collab. It's not my favorite color story from them, but it is really cool they got to do this. Up next, I do have the Team Jacob palette from the Twilight collab. I love this palette. It's so pretty. Up next, I do the Team Edward palette from Twilight. Up next, I do have the Saw palette from Glam Light. Haven't had a chance to play with this, but I definitely will be soon. And finally, this literally just got delivered today, but I wanted to prioritize my declutter first before I reviewed the new Glam Light Bratz collection. But I did actually get it in PR, and this is going to be the palette right here. It is a 2-stacking palette from the Bratz collection right here. So this is the last one, but I haven't had a chance to play with it. I definitely will be. So you guys can expect a full review on this collection coming up. And that completes all of my Glam Light palettes. Let me put these away and tell you guys how many I actually have. Then we'll finally move on to the last bit of this video. Okay guys, we're almost here. We're almost to the end of this declutter. Holy shit. This is taking so long. Okay, so I calculated I have 62 Glam Light palettes at the moment. I think I did my math right, but I have 62 Glam Light palettes by like themselves, and I'll know more whenever I do my ranking, but yeah, holy crap, that's a lot of Glam Light palettes. So finally, I just pulled out all the palettes from my drawer, from my desk that's sitting right in front of me. Like, so we're going to go through this at the end. I do have one palette that I recently just found. I'm going to go ahead and declutter this palette just because it came in like a PR box, and I was like moving stuff around, and I found this. This is from Lashy Doodle. I'm going to go ahead and declutter this just because I'm good. All right, so to finish off the video, we're going to go into my palettes that were sitting on my desk. So up first, I do have the Lunar Beauty. This is going to be the Eternal Eclipse palette. I think this is actually the first time that Manny ever paid attention to me was actually this palette right here. First time I ever had an interaction. I actually have a lot of special memories of this palette, so I'm going to go ahead and hold on to this. Up next, I do have the Full Fantasy. This is with Laura Lee Los Angeles, collaboration with Lunar Beauty, but Laura Lee Los Angeles did shut down. She closed it down. Now she just focuses on Minimum LA, but I have their little Full Fantasy Fantasy Moment palette right here. And this one's cute. I'm going to keep this one. This is probably one of my favorite palettes from Lunar Beauty. This is going to be the Moonshroom palette. I really love this one. I love the color story, love the formula. Definitely going to keep this one. Oh, this one's starting to crack. This is the Lunar Beauty Moonspell. This is a Lunar Beauty Moonspell palette. Looks like that shade down there is starting to crack a little bit. Means it's probably getting a little dry. I'm still going to keep it for now. Hopefully I don't have to get rid of it, but if it continues to break, I might have to. Up next, I do have the Moonspell Volume 2 palette. Still really enjoyed this one for Halloween. Definitely keeping. Up next, I do have the Siren Sunset from Lunar Beauty right here. Such a pretty palette. Mind you, I did declutter the last one he just posted, which was the Day and Night palette. I did declutter those two, but I'm going to go ahead and keep this one because I really do enjoy this color story. I think this was the last one he created before that one. Up next, I do have the Facelift palette from Lunar Beauty. This was like a revamped version of the Life is a Drag palette, so I'm going to go ahead and keep this one. Up next, I do have the Laura Lee Los Angeles. This is the Nudie Patootie palette. I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one just because honestly, I'm just not going to really use it. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. Have the Jaclyn Cosmetics. This would be the Strawberry Face palette or something like that. This is the Strawberry Feels palette. I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. Not a big fan of the formula or the color story, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter. Next, I do have the Jaclyn Cosmetics Dear Mom palette. Again, not the biggest fan of the color story, and the shimmers and the mattes, they're okay. They're not my favorite. You can tell these are the old Morphe style, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. Up next, I do have the Strawberry Dreams palette from Lunar Beauty. This one is so pretty. I am definitely going to be keeping this one. Up next, I do have the Laura Lee Los Angeles. This is the Cat's Pajamas palette. I'm going to go ahead and put this into a shadow box because I know realistically I will never use this again, but this is like my first influencer palette I bought, and then afterwards I bought the Dominique Cosmetics Latte palette. That's also in a shadow box. I'm going to go ahead and put this one in there with that one. Next, I do have Candy Skies. This is Laura Lee Los Angeles collab with Erin Weaver, her niece. Really pretty palette, but I am going to go ahead and declutter this one. Up next, I do have Life is a Drag from Lunar Beauty. This is the original OG palette, but since I have the other one, the revamped facelift, I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. Up next, I do the Greek Goddess palette from Lunar Beauty. This is the first review I think I've ever done of this brand, was this palette. I don't know what that is. I think it's glue. I'm gonna pretend that it's glue. Yeah, I think it's just the glue. Truly, I think that's what it is. I'm still gonna hold on to this one for now. I used to really love the Nudie Patootie Volume 2 palette. I used to use this one a lot, but I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. Next, I do the Lunar Beauty 12 Days of Advent Calendar palette. This one was so fun, so cute. Definitely keeping this one. This is probably my most used Lunar Beauty and most used neutral palette. I use this one a lot more than people realize. This one is still incredible. I'm definitely keeping. This was by far my favorite Laura Lee Los Angeles palette. This is the Whimsical Nude palette. I really love this color story and the formula in this one, so I'm definitely gonna be keeping this one. And finally, we are at our last palette, and of course, it is going to be the Tati Beauty Volume 1 palette. I actually had 2 of these, but I actually gave my new one to Manny way back in the day, like Manny Mue. He said he didn't have it and I had a spare, so I gave it to him. But I love this. As you guys can see, I hit pan on 2, almost 3 of the glitters. This was a fantastic palette. You guys can no longer get this. I wish Tati would bring this back, but I am definitely holding on to this. So with that said, let me calculate how many palettes I kept versus declutter, and then I'll show you guys what my collection looks like now, and then we'll finally wrap up this video. Okay guys, so before I tell you guys what the final number is, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what my collection looks like. So remember how crazy it looked like before? Don't mind the P.O boxes, I gotta figure out something for them, but look at my collection now. I actually have 2 empty drawers. So let me just quickly go over everything. So over here, I do have just like my small palettes are going to be found in this drawer right here. No rhyme or reason, just all my small palettes. Everything in this drawer is going to be Odin's Eye right here. This is empty. This is just filled with kind of miscellaneous of individual palettes that are going to be found in this one. Kind of just like miscellaneous. Here are going to be more Odin's Eye, followed by my single shadows that are also in here as well. Also brand new DD Signature palette that has not been revealed yet, but y'all are seeing it right there. Some more like Odin's and miscellaneous. Everything in this drawer is all ColourPop in this drawer right here. Condense it down to a smaller drawer. Down here, I have all of my Cosmic Beauty along with DD Signature, and my Artitude Cosmetics are back there, and my Singe Beauties right here. This is all going to be Unearthly Cosmetics mixed with Ensley Reign and Milk Cosmetics right here. Down here, I have all of my Blend Bunny Cosmetics, my Bella Beauté Bar, Question Beauty, all be found right here. Down here, this is all of my Nomad Cosmetics and my Fantasy Cosmetica. Both brands have the most amount of palettes, so they literally take up a whole drawer themselves. Down here, empty. Right down here, just like I had before, this is going to be all of my Natasha Denona Hoodie Beauty along with my Pat McGrath, my Too Faced, and my Urban Decay and Danessa Myricks we found right there. This is like more like my luxury drawer. Down here, I have all of my Gourman girls. I have Glaminatrix. I have my Alter Ego, Simply Posh, Game Beauty, and Lethal Cosmetics all in there. And then finally down here, I just have my P. Louise, my Morphe, and my Book of Map in my Beauty Bay. So definitely is a lot less than what I had before. So I had a total of 476 palettes, and this is everything that I'm decluttering right here. I'm decluttering over 100 palettes. That's right, I'm decluttering over 100 palettes. Now I know that does not seem like much, so I kept 376, but I'm decluttering 100. I know you guys are gonna be like, Allie, that's nothing. And you know what? I absolutely agree with you guys. I could have done a lot more, but truly, eyeshadow palettes are the ones that I hold on to the most because I spent so much money on my collection. I'm so proud of the palettes I've had. A lot of these have great memories for me, so it's really hard for me to part from them, but I'm doing the best I can. One day I hope to be able to declutter more, but you know what? It is baby steps. I'm still really happy that I was able to get rid of 100 palettes at least, and hopefully we can add more to that list next year. I don't know how this collection just keeps getting as big as it does, but you know what? I'm still happy that I'm able to declutter all of this. So up next, I'm going to be decluttering my entire everyday drawer, this drawer, and this drawer right here that I can't even open. So stay tuned to that. But y'all, that is it for today's eyeshadow palette collection and declutter. Like I said, I'm very disappointed in myself for not being able to declutter more, but I did the best that I could, and I'm gonna be better next time, guys. I promise I'll be better next time. But I went really hard though. I went really hard on my foundation drawer, my setting powder drawer, and I went really hard on my blush, highlighter, and bronzer drawer. I'm very happy with how much I got rid of. Plus, I got rid of a shit ton of lip products and single eyeshadow palettes. I mean, like single eyeshadows. Like, look at the difference. You know what I mean? So I am proud of myself. I did a really good declutter this season, but I could have done more in my eyeshadow palettes, but I am a work in progress. So with that said, guys, that is it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please make sure you guys give this video a cheeky thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you guys have not already. To post 3 to 4 videos every single week. Make sure you guys head over to my other channels, R for the Life. You guys get to see my cool, wonderful adventures, my amazing husband, Corey. And as always, the biggest thank you goes to these beautiful, wonderful page members you guys see right here. Thank you guys so much for everything. And to my subscribers and viewers, thank you guys so much for being here. Whether you guys like this video, you guys thumbs down this video, you guys subscribed, you guys did not subscribe. Either way, thank you guys so much for being here. I love and appreciate each and every single one of you. So with that said, guys, I love you, and I'll see you guys in my very next video.